guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We are talking to you guys about Married at First Sight. We're giving you guys a super panel. I did realize the time has changed for the Americans, but not for me. So I know you guys are 4 hours behind me if you're on EST. I believe it's 6 or 5 hours behind us if you are CST. So apologies about the time schedule there for you guys. But today we're talking to you guys about Married at First Sight and the episode that happened 11. There's some crazy things that happen on all sides, but I think most of us know exactly who we are talking about today, who specifically was a problem. That person was Ola. Okay, Ola has really become a problem. Okay, and unfortunately, this. Unfortunately, he does things which I would consider to be the big A. Okay, all right, the abuse. Okay, I don't like to say it, but I would like to say it. He'd be the abuse, and unfortunately, we have to be honest and frank with ourselves that I don't like Katina being in this situation with our brother Ola, because some of the things that he has exhibited, especially in this episode, obviously, like I said, I never watched the episode until after I had seen the first clip about the app situation. You know, the way he blew up about an app, number one, he had gone through her phone, number two, at the same time, that she hadn't been on that app and that account, she hadn't been on it. So it was an inactive account. If that's the case, sir, we don't need to be getting stressed and angry. And actually, he should have allowed her to explain herself. But what we did see was somebody just shutting down the person being able to talk and say their piece or their opinion on the subject matter. So it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame to find ourselves here. And I just did a video about this as well, saying how long can Katina keep this up? How long can Katina go? Being the way she is, being patient, being open, being being um, just loving towards him in this manner before she breaks down. Because, you can only take so much. You can only, hold out your true feelings for so long. And I think the problem here I have us with this situation is that she is being patient with him. And I'm asking myself the real question, which is she being patient or is she being passive? And that's a completely different situation. Not everyone is being patient. Sometimes they're being passive. They don't want to have a fight. They don't want to lose a person. They're trying to do their best to keep it all together. So I want to be open to that and say, we have to consider that fact with her. Anyway, we'll talk more about her as the show goes on. A little bit as well. We saw Michael as well. Michael and Jasmina. They seem to get along. They seem to come together, and it seems to be working. Don't ask me how. Okay, it seems to be working for now. Okay, for now. I'm gonna say it again. For now, I think their relationship really is it's tenuous. I mean, I think with her and Jasmina and Michael, they got a little bit of a breakthrough. They got some understanding. They did have an understanding where they finally kind of understood each other. But the truth of the matter is, we still seeing the same old relationship. They haven't really gone anywhere. I know that Michael came in Revelation and said, "Look, do you know what? My bad. You know what? I've been doing things that have been um, more towards her, or more towards me. Sorry, than actually being about her." That's a fair point, and that's a fair shout, and it's a good revelation to catch. And we're happy that you caught that, Michael, because at the end of the day, sorry about that. I just need to make sure I got my phone with me. At the end of the day, we want to see you guys flourish, but I just don't think it's going to work long term, right? I don't think it's gonna be long term. We also had Steve Noijobs. I got something in my beard, baby. Steve Noijobs. Again, Steve Noijobs. I don't know what's going on with Steve. Why are we waiting so long to get us to this point? Why are we here? Why are we here? Why are we waiting at this point? You know, I'm confused. Why are we waiting so many weeks before you give us an answer in terms of your financial plan and situation? Why are you not just giving an answer to Noi to make her feel comfortable? I'm mad confused. I really am. I'm flabbergasted. Oh, sorry. I'm flabbergasted. I'm amused and I'm wondering why hasn't he done this? Why hasn't he given her a plan? What is so difficult about giving her a plan, blood? Yeah? What is it about? Why is it taking so long to give her a plan? Okay, all right. He doesn't have one. Okay, he's without a plan. Steve Noy Dusty Jobs. Okay, yeah. Steve Noy Dusty Job, and I'm calling that because I have to get my own back for last season because they were really getting into Gil. So we gonna get him. Okay, all right. Absolute gonna get him. Okay, next season no one's calling anybody Dusty, but this season we had to just make it equal. You know what I mean? I'm petty like that, unfortunately. But for real, Steve Noy Jobs. Unfortunately, it's giving brokeicity. It's giving let my wife pay all the bills. It's giving my dad paid my house bills. It's giving what should I say? No plan. It's giving no leadership. It's giving things that shouldn't be given. Apart from a financial plan or a job, whichever one comes first. Okay, all right. We need to get him. We need him to sort that out. No, someone said no plan, no marriage. No plan equals marriage equals party time. Vagabond is free again. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Um, and then we have obviously Mark and Lindsey. Like, I'll be honest with you, Mark and Lindsey, whew, Mark and Lindsey is it's a lot. Mark and Lindsey is a lot. I'll be honest with you. Mark and Lindsey's strife. You know what? I do get parts of where Lindsay's coming from. I do actually get some of her. I do actually understand where she's coming from. I do understand what she means by when she's talking about Mark being more focused on her. But bloody hell, mate, Mark and freaking Lindsay. I tell you what, Lindsay, freaking hell, you do half moan, innit? Freaking hell, Lindsay, you do half moan. And not only does she moan as well, she consistently always wants to flip it onto Mark is not doing something. And I'm like, listen, love. I mean, maybe if you just shut up for once, you actually listened. Maybe you not hear your own voice. Maybe you hear an answer to some of your questions that you actually have. Maybe, just maybe, you might have it. Okay, and yeah, exactly. You guys already said it. The truth of the matter is, Mark is absolutely turned off by Lindsay. He does not like her one bit. He is not invested, interested in her one bit, and I can understand. I can understand that. You know what I'm saying? So, whew, Chile. Did you guys watch the after party as well? Did you guys watch the after party? By the way, guys, if you want to join the conversation, I'm gonna leave it open for a few more minutes. Once I close the email, don't ask me to come on because once I've closed the email, I've closed it. Don't get brave in like 5-10 minutes when I close the email. Listen, it's down there. If you want to join the conversation, want to be part of the open panel, send me a message. We'll get the open panel going before we get the super panel coming on. Otherwise, I don't want to hear pip from you. Okay. Yeah. So um so he wants to cut off his hand every time she touches him. Yeah, and listen, what he's doing is what he's a placator too, right? He's placating. All right. He's absolutely placating. He is trying just to appease Lindsay as little as possible as he can to get away with as much as he can. And what I mean by that is he don't like her. Okay. He's doing a bare minimum. Lindsay hasn't clocked that her attitude, her energy, her whole ethos has turned the brother off. The brother is not involved. But do you know what? He's willing to do the little bits in here, like sleep with her when he doesn't need to sleep with her. All right? Sleep with her. You know what I mean? He wants to sleep. He doesn't want to sleep with her. He does not want to sleep with her. That there was a picture, I think there was a part where they were in the bed and he just looked horrified. And I said, brother, you don't want to be here. That's what listen, for a man to say, I want you to deep it, for a man to not want to have intimacy with you, we don't even need to be attracted to you to want to have intimacy. We don't even need to even like you to sleep with you. And to think a brother would not sleep with her because of what? That brother is turned off all the way. 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 You know what I mean? He's turned off all the way. Like the brother's he's not involved at all, you know? Yeah, I can see that the brother has got his eye. his eye is on the sparrow, okay? And I know he watches over me. Now his eye is really on, it's on freedom. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. Okay, that last note was off, but don't worry about that. Anyway, so listen, yeah, I do think that Mark is trying to flee. He wants to run and get out of there, and I don't blame him. So let's talk a little bit about the main couple. I'll get my thoughts out quickly on O and Katina, because I think it was quite a interesting tale. I want to even see if I can even get the after party thoughts on there, because I watched it and I was like, Katina, baby, you told him what you need to tell him, and then after, what did he say? Did he give you any reassurance or any confidence? No. And I'm like, babe, like, why are we still in this relationship? Why are we still covering for him in this relationship, baby? You know what I mean? Like, babe, I need you to gather up your strength. I need you to gather up your love and your mercies and grace. Pack it up and get out of there. Like, there's nothing that Ohe is doing is redeemable. Look, he's not doing anything redeemable. It's honestly, he's not doing anything redeemable. I don't need you to be that. I think this. Let me see if I can get a little bit of clip up for you guys. Okay, so let's try and get where she talks about the situation with her after the fight. Okay. I think I've got a little bit of a clip and I can show you guys. And it's just like, sis, I need you to fix up. Okay, all right. I need you to fix up a little bit. Let's see if we can play a little bit without getting in trouble. Let's see if we can play a little bit without getting in trouble. Here we go.
It's hard to watch. I feel like it was such a small thing. All this didn't even need to happen. Like, it could have been avoided and we could have just had a simple conversation, but it got bigger because of the way that it was approached to me.
Now, they were talking about obviously how the situation got brought to Katina. Let me be very honest, yeah. Look, when he brought the stupidity to the table, yeah, and wanted to embarrass her in on the table, and wanted to, basically out her in front of all friends, that should let you know how much respect the guy's got. I don't care if he comes back often and says, I'm so sorry, I love you, I care for you, I miss you. I don't want to hear that, okay? Because at the end of the day, all right, that is the kind of stuff that he's been doing regularly. Now, okay, of course, it hasn't been in front of friends all the time, but the truth of the matter is, we've seen this harsh language, harsh talk, not thinking before you speak. Like, we have to really be open with this. Look, someone might say, oh, the person doesn't think before they speak. How long are we going to wait for you to get to a place where you're self-aware that you know that when you say something, it is detrimental? How long? How long? How long are we going to wait for O to get it that the way he treats his wife is incandescent and is not conducive to a healthy relationship, right? Who gonna tell him, right? Who gonna tell Katina that how much can you really take? How much can you bear? For me right now, it is struggle love. It's got to that point because we're accepting this low level behavior as being. And she said something really interesting. She said, "You know what? I'm just gonna." She said, "Oh, basically, I take parts of it off, and I go, oh, you know what? Whatever. I take parts of what he's saying, and not everything I take to heart." Babe, how can you know when and what to take to heart? How would you know? No, really, how would you know?
Commend her for keeping her composure for everything.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just having so much patience, because once I hear someone starting to yell, I'm like, all right.
How would you know that this is what you should take and what you shouldn't take?
Okay. From a viewer's.
Let me try to get you the clip. I'm going to try to get you guys a clip where Katina says this, and I was so hurt. I was like, but baby, I don't need you to say this. There's no need for you to defend him in this moment. Okay.
I know I tried.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I got it for you guys. Okay. Let's put it on for you guys. It's sad, really, and it's and you're looking at it and you think to yourself, baby, I need you to fix up. All right, cool. All right, let's play this little part of the clip.
To extend apology like after. like immediately after, but he wasn't at the point where he could be receptive. And yeah, that's all I could really do. Melissa, where are you as you're engulfed in?
Okay, so she even tried to apologize after. Okay, even tried to apologize to him after, but that's all she could really do. Why? Because he was not receptive to it. He wasn't ready to, have the conversation. And the truth of the matter is, of course, everybody has their gate times where they're ready to have a conversation. I get it. Um, Everybody has their own times of when they can recover from an argument, right? But this brother is gonna punish you. I want to hear you. I want you to say this. He's going to punish you with silence. He's gonna punish you every time you try to raise your voice and get even. He's gonna punish you every time you try to say, "Hey, don't do that to me." That's all you're gonna ever experience. And I'm like, yo, you can't do that for very long, Katina. So taking the part that you think is good out of it, it's like you're going to die an early death, right? Let's see some of your comments as well. Okay, you said he's manipulated her into thinking just that he's just a great person that she can't amount to who he is. Yeah, I hear that. Um, I hear that indeed. Okay. Someone said it's okay to be single, ladies, rather than settle for someone like. Oh, I hear that. I hear that. Yep, I hear that. Mempsy hustle. I hear that. Okay. Okay. Sam M says Katina won a husband badly. That's potentially true. Someone else said it's scary that Jasmina and the other women on the panel kept praising her for not getting upset while he yelled at her. Yeah, and again, I know as well that I can't remember her name, Mrs. Kev on the stage. I forgot her name. I apologize. I do apologize. I hate missing people's names. I know she was compromised. She can't just come out and be like, "Oh yeah, he an abuser, baby." Like you can't come out and say that. And I totally get it because you know what, you got to hold a certain line. So I totally understand. She was trying to. She said there was a red flag for her, some of his behavior. So she was trying to point it out, but I get it. You can't come out the traps and just be saying anything mad. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I'm looking at her and I'm going, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it. This really ain't it. Like, baby, you don't need to be in this relationship. You don't need to be in this relationship. So yeah, I'm someone needs to get her and shake her and say, baby, this ain't where you need to be. Okay, this is not where you need to be. Okay. I'm gonna get some people on the stage because it's important that we do that now. But listen, if you haven't sent me a you want to be on because I've told you guys what the email is. You understand? All right, cool. But yeah, I definitely hear what you guys are saying about Katina. I mean, to be honest, let's see what over here. Melissa, thank you, Melissa, thank you very much. Um, they don't want to call it, and you know what it is? It's so interesting because Katina is such a vocal person, very, very vocal. I think she's almost gone to the other side of trying to make it work too much. And it's not always easy to find out what your limit is, right? Sometimes it's not easy to find you. But the difficulty here is that they're not even having sex. No. I had to actually deep it. I had to actually deep it. They're not even having sex, and you are twisted already. Because it's sex that usually is the one that confuzzles you. It's the good that confuzzles people, that Confucius's people. You know what I mean? That's the stuff that gets you twisted. But they ain't even having sex. So unless they're lying, and it's part of their storyline not having sex, fam, I expect her not to be confuzzled. I expect her not to be confuzzled because at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, you're not even having that to confuse you. At least good. When you get the good, and it gets you a little bit whoop whoop. But when you're not even getting the good, and it's not, I struggle to understand how you can be so Confucius. Do you know what I'm saying? I struggle. I struggle. Let's see what other people are saying as well. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Some people think marriage over everything. Some people do think marriage over everything. Um, they weren't being honest with her on the after party. They were tiptoeing. His behavior is abusive. I agree with you, Tori. Tori. Why do you guys think they were tiptoeing around her? Why do you guys think that Melissa and Jasmina were tiptoeing around Katina? Let us know your thoughts. Why do you think they were tiptoeing around her, not giving her the true, honest thoughts of what they felt about old boy? Let me know. Come on now. That's it. Let's see. Beautiful. Okay. Let us know your thoughts. Does Olawa want to remind you of Chris and Paige? Mm, no, because Chris was telling her he didn't want her. The difference is Chris was telling Paige he didn't want her. So it's slightly different. He did tell her at a point. I mean, the guy tried to bring her back at 1 or 2 points, but yeah, it's less of that because there isn't a physical teardown. It's more of an emotional teardown where he's trying to tear down her womanhood instead, right? So rather than him saying he's not attracted to her, so yeah, it's similar but not similar. Uh, oh, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely hear that. Thank you for that, just Annie. Olajuwon, Olajuwon, oh my days, Olajuwon knew that if he had told the table what the issue was, they would have all said, Can you delete the app?" And she would have done that too soon for the vindicate Olajuwon. Yeah, I get you. I get you. I get you. Katina's a type you can't tell anything because she's hard headed. Her friends try to help her out, but she made excuses. That is very true. That is very true. You have to also know who you're talking to. You have to know who you're addressing because at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. They did try to warn her. They did try to warn her. They did try to let her know. Um, you know, yeah, babe. If you don't take direction very well, there's nothing much I can do. Do you get what I'm saying? I can't. I can't. I can't force you to take my advice. And I get why Katina might not necessarily take the advice on because she wants to try and go through the whole process. She wants to be able to see things herself. But I think in this case, with the amount of things that we've seen, she would be in her right mind to say, "Hey, I don't want to be in this relationship." Jasmina made a comment about Katina having been through worse than what Olajuwon does. So I'm really side eyeing Jasmina's judgment. Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay. 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 And no one addressed Lindsey calling Katina a bitch. Is it? I don't. Did she call her that? Wow, I don't remember. Um, Self protection. She's been with abuser before. Knows how to protect herself. Is a play along. Okay. Okay. Fair point. Fair point. Fair point. Yeah, another level of control trying to employ. I hear that. I definitely hear that. Yep, I hear that totally. Eldrin Jackson says, I think she doesn't want to come off a certain way on camera because I feel like she can't let him have it if she wanted to. Okay. But I mean, she can still give him a little 1-2-1-2. Do you know what I mean? She can still give him a little 1-2-1-2 and say, "Hey, look, this is me." You know what I mean? Like, don't play with me. But we're not even getting that from her. It seems very subdued. It seems very subdued. Can say we can see how she was in a past abusive relationship. Unfortunately, yes, and that's the sad thing about it because the passivity is being shrouded with "I'm patient," and it's really just "I'm really passive." So yes, she can be more firm with people outside of a relationship because they're not giving her the romantic love that we desire. But when you're in a romantic relationship, that desire to want to be loved, courted, appreciated, taken care of, being in a loving relationship sometimes can make you compromise on your actual values. And that's unfortunate to hear. I'm not saying that's exactly what it is, but we have to look at that. Katina and Olajuwon are similar in a lot of ways. She said that she was about to unleash the real Katina. Mm, okay. All right. Okay. I hear you. All right. I don't know if they are similar, but I definitely what you're saying. You'll think that Katina is naive. She has seen abuse up close before. I mean, you know what it is. Again, I'm not going to say she's naive, but I think it'd also be naive of us to think that someone who's been through an abusive relationship sees themselves being in another abusive relationship, doesn't have a violent reaction or doesn't have a violent triggering moment. Do you know what I mean? Like if you've been through something like that, normally there's an oversensitivity, or at least there's like a reaction. Say, well, I've been there before. I'm not doing that again. Yeah, not been there. I've been there before. I'm not doing that again. You know what I mean? If you fully learned from that. But I don't know. I don't think she could be playing coy or, have a trick up her sleeve. I don't know if they're like that, Um, so again, number someone said they think they're lying about having sex. Potentially, potentially. But sex can be a manipulation tool for an abusive man. He makes her feel she will earn his affection and love. Definitely hearing that. Definitely hearing that. Okay. My sister isn't trying to lose the gig. I hear that too. Um, Even the wives were telling him he was moving mad and he didn't care for their comments. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't. Absolutely didn't. Um, You know what? And that's a good point, Jussie, as well, towards why Jasmina and Melissa didn't say anything. Probably thought, let's not embarrass you on TV more than you have been with old boy, and let's keep this between ourselves. We'll talk about this after the show. Hopefully, I really hope that is the case because, you know, bruh, at that point, old girl was just looking at us. And I'm looking at her like, yo, baby, this thing is off. Like, that this is a trip, and you're almost trying to. I felt not almost, but it felt a little bit like you're trying to defend some of the nonsense that he was going through. Now, she said herself, she was looking back at it and going, she can't believe that's her. Like, she can't believe that's her going through that. My question is, if they are together now, what have you done to address those issues? What have you done to address the fact that he does that? How are you going to make sure he doesn't do that again? Um, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a difficult one there. Uh, yeah, I agree. I agree. I didn't expect her to come on a network and say he's abusive. Um, so I do understand that as well. I think maybe a harsh, I don't rock with him. Sorry, I don't rock with him. Um, would have been good. But I again I understand that being on TV, things can come a certain, maybe they will cut it in a certain way. As for me, y'all would know if you invite me to come on there, I'm gonna tell you some hard truths. If you invite me to come on there, and by the way, guys, I could be somewhere on your screens very soon. I'm gonna tell you guys the honest truth. I don't like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I personally don't like it. I don't rock with it. I'm not about it. Okay. And yeah, and I totally get that as well. So I'm not judging Miss Kev at all. I totally understand about being diplomatic. I totally understand about the fact that there is obviously a PC way of dealing with certain situations. So again, I'm not shooting anybody down for not being able to say all the truth that they wanted to say. Um, let's see. Uh, they said they think she was. I think they were too focused on O to think about Lindsay. True, potentially, potentially. Um, okay, let's see. I believe Katina is going to kick him to the curb on decision day. Okay, okay. I hope so. Okay, I don't have much hope. Olajuwon said that she gives it to him behind the scenes on last week's after party. Okay, I'll believe it when I see it. Okay, and my thing is this as well. Like, who you are is who you are, and listen, I'm a person as well. I don't want to ever embarrass someone, so there will be certain conversations I'll definitely hold behind the scenes. But the parts where I'm not gonna, but then the other thing happens, which is okay if you're not addressing it, but then now you're looking like a super victim where you're crying all the time, or I'm emotional about what you just said to me when that's not your final disposition. Do you know what I'm saying? So then your husband now looks bad. Now you might say, well, it doesn't really matter. It's only between me and him. But yeah, it will matter because the whole world will think your husband's a prick. So if you are giving it to him behind the scenes, come and give it to him on the screen so we can also see how mad you are. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because at the moment it's looking like oh, he's the only mad one, and uh, I'm just like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, but now he looks like an absolute real prick. We're calling him the big A. And you're telling me you're not giving him nothing behind the scenes? You're telling me you're giving him something behind the scenes? Hmm. I've heard that before, and it doesn't usually end up that way. Doesn't usually anyway. Where is a guy friend that knew O was off? Where he at? He around, but remember, she didn't take his advice, so he can't force it. He can't force it. You can't force that. You can't force putting himself there and telling her what it is, because at the end of the day, he said his piece. She said what she said. She felt what she felt, and she acted as she wanted to act. She went her particular way. So I can't. He can't be around for too long. You know what I'm saying? He can't be around too long, like trying to beg it, but like, I want it to. I need to let you know. No, no, fam. I said my piece. I got to go. Okay, I said my piece. I got to go. Okay, all right. Okay. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Mm? Is I'm never gonna hold the host. You're absolutely right, because I will say something too much. I'll be saying the big A, the big N. I'll be like, do you think he has some narcissistic tendencies? Do you think that there's some abusive tendencies here? Let's keep it a buck and real. Why did the experts put you together? Like, if they know you don't like each other, why? If they know he doesn't like, if they know he's not about black women, why would they put him with a black woman? I'm gonna ask that question. Do you know what I'm saying? If you know he don't like black women, why would you put him with a black woman? You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that is just dumb. Like, that for me is just dumb. But that's just like, that's for me, that's the manipulative part of TV. That for me is the devilish part of TV. Listen, I'm all for drama. Drama will be stirred up by people in relationships anyhow, anyway. Nobody's perfect. You know? Nobody's perfect. So yeah. I get tired of their nonsense shenanigans. Um yeah. She had all the smoke for Karen, but none for her husband. That's an issue. That's what I'm saying about, if you shoot, and that's another thing. That's a great point. If you out here shooting Karen and shooting Lindsey out in the public, not giving her the conversation behind the scenes, but you want to shoot your husband privately for some of the just seven things he's been saying, I'm gonna look at you some way. I got to ask that real question, like, what is going on with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I personally don't understand it. Um, it blows my mind. Someone says, much I dislike Oh, we need to also hold Katina accountable. She's allowing this behavior all in the name of marriage. He has pushed her, and each time she's just taking it. Okay, 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 fair enough. I hear what you're saying on that. I do hear what you're saying on that. Sweet Apple said, fair is fair. He embarrassed me on TV. He gets it the same way. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I hear that as well. I hear that as well. Elle said the fact that he behaves like that on camera makes me wonder what's going on when the cameras go down. I think that's all of our thoughts. I think that's all of our thoughts in terms of what goes on behind the scenes. What goes on when we're not looking? What goes on in those moments where we don't have a camera to view? And if you're acting like this on camera, what are you doing behind the camera? Like, you have to deeper, if he's doing this on camera, what is he doing behind camera? Yeah. uh So if they have sex behind the scenes, she has to speak up about his abusive behavior on TV. Huh? What does that mean? I don't get that quid pro quo. So if they have sex behind the scenes, she has to speak up about his abusive. I don't think that's what I was talking about. No, I was saying that she should speak up about his abusive behavior. She should speak her truth, because she's in a situation with somebody who is abusive, for me anyway, who is showing signs of abuse, who is being emotionally perturbing. So I would want her to speak up and not just address it behind the scenes, because he's doing it on camera, and you're making it look as if you're the crying and everything like that's all you're doing. And it's problematic because then it also makes it just him, as I'm not even saying that you're even a bad guy or anything like that, but we're gonna literally destroy him and his reputation now. If you are checking him behind the scenes, will be helped by you checking him behind the scenes. Then we know that you're safe, but we don't think she's safe right now. We actually think that she's not safe, and we're thinking, Katina, run. You don't have a voice, run. Meanwhile, if you did have that voice behind the scenes, we wouldn't know. So yeah, I would hope that she is, if she is saying it behind the scenes, I hope so. Um and that's the truth. That's also true as well, Terry. Doesn't make a difference. That it doesn't make a difference. Um Either way, he's still behaving the way he is. I see that as well. Mipsy Hustle says, I see why he only dated white women. He likes them passive, and Katina is demonstrating the kind of passivity that he likes. Mm, I'm not gonna say anything. Uh oh, okay. They lied during the screening about their preference. I think that was an issue season 1 or 2. Oh, is it? Okay. Maybe that's it. Maybe they are lying about the preferences. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I believe they are already doing the do because she's so passive and he's super controlling now. Mm. Okay. I won't say anything. Let's see. Katina's been trying to do public service and protect the image of black men on TV. Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. She said something about producers seeing the real Katina. I don't know. It makes me think that she's playing up the passivity for the camera. Okay. Mm. Mm. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing what you're saying. Let's see. 100% because he's acting like he's gonna put her hands in her. I was waiting for that, and it's really scary to see it play out. I don't think that's what we're all concerned about, right? Because emotional abuse does tend. The next step is physical. So I definitely hear that as well. It's it's such an easy step to take from the emotional to the physical because you've broken that person down, and once you break that person down, they're like putty in your hands. And so that it's crazy to think that this won't turn out to be physical because that's where it starts from, you know. And so for me it's like, for me in this situation, I would be concerned. I'd want to eject her from the situation because I'm like, babe, this is, you don't know where it's going to end up, right? You thinking you're strong enough to handle it by you being placating is an issue. So yeah, definitely hear that. Latoya Pettiford said that apart, her friends are so protective. Um, and then Lindsey being the only one to speak up and defend on. Yeah, that was really interesting as well. This part where Lindsey spoke up and said, "Oh, I totally get it. We're very much alike." I said, the fact that you even realize that, we've been saying that for a few weeks, but you realize that now, that you and Ola are actually very much alike. Interesting. So you're both abusive. Oh, we know that already. We both know you're both can be emotionally controlling and emotionally abusive with the way that you move, particularly. Right? We know that. That's why you have to get along as well. Okay? You ain't no different. You shouting off, spousing stuff about your partner. You ain't no different. Bree. I see Bree's there. Let me even get her on as well. I, boy, to be honest, it is what it is. Hello, Storm.
Hi, Koji Bear. What up, chat? How's
What you saying,
everybody
babe?
doing? Ooh, I'm way too close.
No. We like to see up close and personal, baby.
Um, how you doing?
How you doing? You're right.
Good. It was my
Hmm.
birthday yesterday.
Oh, yes, it was. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, sir.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Thank you. See what
Did you
this is.
celebrate it well?
Yeah, I got my nails and stuff done, and then I went to the spa today and got like a
Please.
massage, and then I'm going out again tomorrow. So it's like a good birthday.
Okay, okay. I hope you didn't spend too much on my card. Okay.
Oh, no. Wait till
I
you
got.
get the bill next month. You'll
Oh
see.
Lord, obviously the Tinder swindler.
Oh God.
You have to see in it. You get me. You have to see. But it's
Mhm.
good to have you aboard. Good to have you aboard. Looking beautiful as always. What was your kind of thoughts on this? The episode just gone past.
A hot mess. Like, you know what? See, you know what I don't like about Olajuwon and Lindsey? I don't like when you try to embarrass your spouse. Like, I have a real problem with that. And I know some people are saying, like, oh, you can check Lindsey, but you can't check your husband. I think it's different because with spouses, you're still supposed to cover each other in a way. And so, I mean, personally, I wouldn't do that in front of people, but I am going to get you. I do see some abusive tendencies with Olajuwon. Like, he goes from 10 to like 50 100 in like a minute. And my thing is, if you felt some type of way when you were at that dinner table, maybe you could have went to the bathroom, like, hey, can I just pull you to the side if it was bothering you that bad. But for you to sit there and try to embarrass your wife in front of everybody, I have a problem with that. And then I don't do domestic disputes when it comes to married folk. And I don't like how Lindsey got in it. Like, I don't need you to even be talking because you need to be working on your own marriage because she's abusive too. Her mouth is so reckless. And Jasmina and the rest of the couples, they were, just like very awkward and they were listening intently. But
I'm still here.
this oh, okay. But this episode definitely it was going well. It was like, kind of giddy in the beginning and the middle, but towards the end it kind of ruined it just on how like everything progressed and what happened. So Elijah, he made me mad from last week, and so I knew I was going to get pissed off this week again. So yeah, I'm not feeling it right now. Lindsey, she is really irritating me so bad. And Steve cracks me up because he's like, look, I don't care what none of y'all think. I don't care what the viewers think. I ain't getting no job. And it is what it is. And I just like crack up about it. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this week's episode.
Cool for that. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Yeah. I definitely hear you. Wait, Steve Noijobs.
A mess.
Steve Noijobs. Let's talk about Steve
Yes.
Noijobs. Okay, Steve
Yeah.
Noijobs, right? On a real thing, like, what's your thoughts on Steve Noijobs? Because this whole listen, we're not gonna have a job is mad.
Yes, I agree. Like, I'm sorry because I was talking to my mom about this, and I'm like, look, she's the type, she wants a husband to provide. And he is just like, look, I don't care what none of y'all say, I'm not getting a job. And he thinks that by cooking and cleaning and kind of taking care of the house, like that's his duty. But I don't know if he was saying in this episode, like he's been trying. And I'm like, trying as far as you're looking for occupation or you're trying to like keep the household together. I don't know what he meant by that. I personally feel some type of way about it. Like I would want my husband to work and me stay at home, once we have like kids and stuff. But yeah, I just think he needs to have a job. Or if you do have a savings, you do have to keep replenishing it. So do you have like any type of investment? Like, I don't think he's really explaining to her what he has, what his coins are looking like, and how he plans to keep replenishing it to kind of make her feel well. Because I feel like that's really the only big issue is just their finances. And she's worried about, can this man take care of me and our future children? So, yeah, he needs to get that in order.
Yeah, do you know what? It's mad because I think, yeah, with him, I'm confused. And I honestly confused because I'm like, why is he taking so long to produce a plan? What's going on? Why are you struggling to produce a plan? If you're saying you don't want to get a job, fine. Do self-employed. Let us know that's the plan. But
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
I'm not sure about that. And someone did say maybe it's a storyline. Maybe it is a storyline because she did buy him a camera. You know what I mean? And I was like,
True.
I don't know what camera that was because I've never seen that camera
A
before, so I don't know.
Polaroid camera.
Oh, it's a Polaroid camera. What's he gonna do that?
I don't, something about he lost it or something. And
Oh, so
so,
it wasn't a business
Oh,
for.
no. I think it
Oh,
was just for leisure.
I was trying to save him. I was thinking to myself, maybe it's a storyline, and she bought him the camera because secretly, he's actually got money in the bank, and he's actually a camera person behind the scene. But no, it was just a Polaroid. Okay, so
Mhm.
a bit of fun, a bit of retro gear. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is not. It's not nothing for me is like making sense with him because it's taken too long to get to this point. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? To not even this point, to get to a point of explaining what it is. And this episode again, she again came at him and said, hey, look, um, you know, uh, that's it's she came to me and said, like, where's the plan? What's the plan? I want to know what the plan is. I want to be able to um, you know, be comfortable. I don't want to pay all the bills. I don't want to do all the work, etc. financially. And yet still he didn't assure her. Now someone might say I know someone said that he may have money in the bank. Well, my question is, unless he's told her behind the scenes and they are running with this particular storyline, even if he has money in the bank, would you trust a man who has money in the bank but wouldn't for 8 weeks or whatever how long doesn't tell you that he has money in the bank? This is not a movie. We are not in
Mhm.
films. We're not in Coming to America. We are not in those things. This is real life. You understand? Real life. Like I want you to deep it. Like it changes the whole scope of things when someone's like withholding that kind of information. You wouldn't want to be somebody who's going to withhold that level of information. I'm not saying that, maybe, I mean, he's not a prince. If he was a prince, he wouldn't be on a
Yeah,
TV
that's
show.
what. Yeah.
Go
Mhm.
for it. Yeah, jump in.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's not like he's a trust fund baby, so that's like different. When you come from old money, then I could see, but I don't believe he is. I can't really say, but I'm just like, no. Hey guys, but I'm just like, no, Steve. He's not. I don't. He's just determined, y'all. I don't care. I'm not working, but I'm going to be the house husband. And Noy, she's really getting frustrated, and they really need to have this serious conversation because this has gone on too long. It's now a month in. You guys really need to start planning if you plan on staying together after decision day. So I don't know what she's gonna do with that.
Yeah, and my thing is also as well, like none of the couples have actually asked about finances. Actually, technically, like again. So if it is a storyline, it would make sense if they never spoke about money and no one, but none of them have spoken about money. None of them have spoken about their finances. No one's actually. Mark and Lindsay haven't really spoke about it. They spoke about moving in, but that's about it. Everyone spoke about moving in.
And
No
isn't
one's really
it?
spoke about money. Go for it.
Oh,
Yeah, go for it.
oh, and isn't it so funny? Like Lindsay and Noy are the opposite because Mark is like, look, I got to go out there. I got to get me another job. Because he was let go from his previous job. And she's like, no, like you need to be focused on me. Like, and then Noy's like, no, I need this Negro to work. Like, you need something. So I found that to be kind of funny how they both think about, I guess, their men working.
I hear that too. I hear that too. All right, we have the gentleman aboard as well. We've got our brothers involved in the chat too. We've got Anu, and we got also our brother Sean as well. Anu, what's your thoughts of this, man? What's your thoughts of Steve Noy Jobs?
I knew you can go there. You gotta make they gotta make this make sense. Like I'm getting both conflicting views when it comes to men and when it comes to men and pursuit relationships. And like this show is kind of it's making it very tough. And now we have 2 seasons of this. I think the key thing is like when it comes to a partner, what do women want? And I kind of feel like right now, as we move in like this, like in this decade right now, if finances are that important, it needs to be transparent. And again, if one person isn't providing what the other person expects, and it's not even like a 50-50. If someone's not providing what this person expects, there's going to be division when it comes to relationships. I think I read something like this week that says like 40% all marriages that break up, the number one deciding factor comes down to finances. So the question is like if we're going to boil it down to exactly what women are looking for, someone provide and protect. If I don't make enough money for you to feel protected, it's going to be an issue. And we've seen this now we've seen this in the past couple of seasons, going back at least the last 3, with certain couples. At first, we thought it was just a black thing with Bree and I forget Bree and Vincent, but now we're seeing it like with just all these couples now moving forward. If you don't make enough and I can't see it, then I don't feel protected. I'm not gonna give you worth as a man when it comes to relationship. And if that's the case, where it's gonna be all, then again, who's at fault matching these women with these guys with these men? If we look at it from the female's point of view, are they having unrealistic expectations of their partners or what they're expecting for? Because like, let's just be real. It's one thing to be married, it's another thing to want to have 3 children, be able to foot that bill, and how much you're going to have to make in order to have that. It's one thing if you have the money and want to do that. It's another thing you don't have the money, you don't want to do that. And we don't know where my boy Steve falls in this position, because again, he's being secretive with his finances. I think Steve owes Noi a conversation about that behind closed doors. We don't even know about it. The key thing, the fact that the friends know that she's leaking information outside of the relationship, that's the main issue that I have. Now, if Noi is saying, hey, I need my guy to make $100,000 for me to feel like I'm safe and protected and do the things I want to do, fine, go ahead and say it. That's not what she's saying. She's saying, hey, I'm gonna wait here and wait for you to get a job, wait for you to become stable enough so I can feel protected. And again, what her friend said is, I liked what her friend said. You can't date off potential. You have to date on what the person is showing to you going to decision day. And again, and one of the key things I tell all my friends now, especially when guys go into 35, I'm not wasting draft picks on potential at 35. That's cool at 21 if you want to do that, but at 35, you know what you are and what you're not are. And if you're not a star, you're not able to excel in relationships, or not something I can see, I'm not going to bet the farm on you. And you're asking Noi to bet a farm with someone who isn't showing the bare minimum that what she wants from a relationship. And again, I blame experts for this. That's fine, but at the same point, why are you giving up the farm for someone who's not doing the bare minimum? And why are you trying to make your outside, what are you trying to please the outside, your friends, the family, etc., on why things aren't going well versus going talking to him? If Noi was a down for Steve, Noi will be at home making sure Steve is finding a job or finding the things, or finding a job, finding a career, whatever it is, to support what they have moving forward. That's not what she's doing. She has one foot in, one foot out. And when you compare that to the White Karen and I forget old boy situation, where it's like,
Lindsey.
Lindsey and whatever. It's like she's getting mad that a man wants to focus on his career and being a part of his family and not on her. You got to make this make sense, because you're set literally in 15. I had to rewind this and watch it 3 times. Those 10 minutes did not make any sense. Both women are saying 2 exact things. Which one do you want? Do you want the guy to go out and work and provide for your family, or are you just okay waiting for him to develop the guy he wants to be? Because Married at First Sight, y'all messed up big time. And I just want to know what it is. Because again, I'm going to tell you right now, 60K is not enough. Let's be real. 60K is not enough. What is it going to take for you to find guys that are $100,000 or more who want to be married and want to have 3 kids? Let me see it.
Okay, I hear you, Onu. I hear you.
I'm sorry
Huh?
I'm sorry for the soliloquy.
No. You have to break it down, brother. We like that, brother. We like you to break it down for us. Thank you. We appreciate you, Kat, for that. Okay, Seaway, thank you again for joining us as well. Sorry to catch you off guard like that. My bad. I feel bad.
My face, sorry.
I felt bad as well. I felt bad. Thank you, Onu, for that as well. Good breakdown. We've got V also on the panel as well. Hello, V. You're right. Okay, cool. I think Sean's thing went off. Seaway, since you're new to the conversation, I'll let you jump in as well. Seaway, what's your thoughts with Steve Noy Jobs, and what's your kind of thoughts around the situation?
So I haven't heard anything anyone has said. So if I repeated this, I'm sorry. I was like running. My opinion is, I don't know. He wanted, I know in that scene where they were having that cute date and they were talking about how far they came, it was like wonderful and whatever. When she got back down to business about this job, he was trying to get credit for something he ain't really do. And I don't know, I was kind of disappointed in him. Like, I really like Steve. I got my cape on for Steve, whatever. But this constant like wanting Noy to give him credit for the bare minimum as it comes to this job situation is not it. So I don't know what his plans are, but him saying, "Oh yeah, Noy, we have progress, whatever." I'm like, I don't know what progress he's talking about. So that's just kind of my opinion. He needs to like crap or get off the pot at this point.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Beyonce.
That's it.
No worries. Coming out looking like Beyonce, you know. Where's Jay-Z at? Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Hello. V, what's your thoughts to Steve Noy Jobs as well? What's your thoughts? Oh, sorry there. My bad. I tried to unmute you. I didn't mean to. You can unmute yourself. Sorry, my bad. I pressed mute. That's my fault.
Yeah, like everyone's saying, to me, he's Steve No Jobs. He keeps coming up with excuses with how he's going to clean the house, how he's going to keep everything up. Every time she brings it up, he has some strange excuse on why he shouldn't have to work. If he is some hidden millionaire, I'm like, Seaway, I think he looked good. He looked good to me. I go up for Steve, but like I said, I think you guys are giving him more grace than you guys gave Gil. I know you don't like this word, but to me, he's just dressed up in Dusty rather than presenting himself completely as Dusty. He's a Dusty in sheep's clothing, right? He definitely doesn't want to work. She's going to keep bringing it up. He's going to keep acting like he doesn't know what she's talking about. And it definitely seems like a storyline to me. I think there's nothing else really going on in their relationship. Noy wants to be married. Everybody's happy, and they have to find something to talk about. That's why when they were sitting on the boat, she was looking all cute, and he thought everything was all good. She still brought up the fact that he didn't have a job. She wants somebody that goes to work. She wants to see him go to work. And I don't know if that's going to happen. So I don't think he's going to work.
Totally hear that. Thank you very much, V, for that. Love for that opinion as well. Sean, what's your thoughts on Steve Noy Jobs?
So what's up? I don't know. I mistakenly shut my Wi-Fi down, but I don't know if we do a birthday shout out for Bree.
I did one, but you can do another one, bro. Go for it.
Happy birthday, Bree. Yes, we appreciate you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Storm.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks.
No worries. 21 again. We appreciate you.
Yes. So back to Steve No Jobs. Can the real Dusty stand up? Please, can the real Dusty stand up? So look, we've heard this brother duck and dodge. He's playing dodgeball with the finances game, right? You know, and I saw it early on when he was overdoing the cooking and the household chores. Then he tried to start selling it like, oh, but if I get a job and work a 9 to 5, I won't be able to do all the cooking and cleaning the way that I've been doing it. And then Noy was like, well, we've, equally distributed the task. And he was like, oh, okay, well, I've never seen you do it. Now, fast forward, looks like next scene, Noy is telling him to kiss her, rear end. So, because the brother don't want to split up the household chores no more. So Steve is a flip-flopper. And even when he sat with his friend and had the conversation with his friend in the park, now that's his friend. So, I love how folks out here, we got a lot of producers and writers, on YouTube, because everybody's writing the story that now Steve has all this hidden money. He's the millionaire next door. He doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to disclose. He's the lottery winner that wants to keep his winnings on lock so that people don't take advantage of him. Well, he sat with his trusted advisor, right? The friend who's been married for many, many years that he trusts really well. And he said nothing about no money, right? And the friend didn't give us any indication that there was some secret stash. And I'm just going to reiterate for the folks in the back, because I think people are starting to get it now. So we got most of us up in the front, but for the people in the back, you can have money in your savings, but if you're not replenishing it, it's going to deplete. Okay, you can have $100,000 in your savings account, but you see the brother has an apartment, right? That apartment don't pay itself. You got bills. That savings can quickly go from 100,000 to 50,000 to 25,000 to 10,000. They live in a major metropolitan city. Boston is not cheap. Okay, so that 100,000 that everybody's speculating that exists, even if it does, it ain't gonna last. And don't tell me about investments, because I don't know anybody who's checked their investment account lately, but it's upside down. Okay, so I just want to bring those points of, because we forget when we start rewriting our own story. So I love this Seaway is on board. I'm glad to have you in the front of the church, but this message is for the folks in the back that still want to hang on to this myth that Steve has all this money that we just don't know about.
What Steve do to you?
Not Seaway coming again.
I don't know what Steve did.
Nothing. Yeah, he do nothing.
He did nothing. That's the problem. He's doing nothing. It's I personally, listen, if he's got money, fantastic, but you know what I mean, like all the signs are pointing towards somebody who has no money, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
I just want to say, if you take the money out of it, ambition. Does Steve have the ambition of someone that, hey, is going to go look out to provide for his wife and his kids? The answer is no. He could, even if he has $100,000 in the bank, the brother he's not trying to give the image that, hey, like working hard, earning honest living is what I want to do. And if that's the reason why Noi isn't secure in a relationship, that's fine. That is not what the girl is saying. She's saying get a job. My question is, like you said, we said this on countless occasions. If Steve was to go become the fry cook at McDonald's, would she be happy? No. And we've seen this countless for the past countless of seasons. He's not, and the thing is, it's like you want your man to be productive. You want him to go out there, earn a living that, you know what, I can be proud of. That's not what Steve is doing. Steve is in this loose camp, like, you know what, not coronavirus happened, I lost my job, I took this 6-month discovery, figure out myself. All right, cool. Who do you want to be now? We can't continue to blame 2019, 2020, 2022. You're married now. Your focus needs to change. What does you want to do? Why haven't you told this to your woman? Why does she still feel unsettled? Why is she going outside relationship to tell everyone your business? Like, again, that's what's driving me idiotic about Noi right now. So if you don't want to be with him, that's fine. Don't need to invest the farm into the guy. Just move on. He's not a quality guy. I'm okay with that, but that's not what you're doing.
I hear you. Look, listen. If he could, here's my thing. Unless his father dislikes him and hates him, no father's about to call their son a vagabond if they developed an app and the app hit. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, unless my dad don't like me, okay, my dad's a hater, okay. My dad's one of those dads that nothing works that's good enough for him. Okay, all right. Then me going to your dad and your dad saying he's a vagabond would not be the adjective he would use for his son. Rather, you say my son is a very successful son. He doesn't do the conventional work, but he's successful, and I'm proud of that. Right? We didn't get a storyline that his dad was a bad dad or anything like that. So for the dad to use a word that he was a vagabond, right? If your son could afford to take 4 months off, tour the US like your Tour de France, doing your cycling thing, your dad would not be calling you vagabond. You know what I mean? He wouldn't be calling you that, right? If you're most parents, if not all, okay, even African parents respect when you're making money. Listen, they cuss you at the beginning, and when they see the money and they see the checks and they see the zeros coming in, they're like, "Oh, my son, my daughter, you've always been doing it." They chat, but real spit, they're now proud because the money's coming in. Okay, all right. So for him to use vagabond tells me there is something that is not quite right there. Okay, yes, he's got a house, an apartment that's there. We don't know. Man, it could be the grandma's house. It could be, it could be what it could be the family's second home, and he living rent free. We never got any information about anything in terms of how we just saw him in the house. We saw some fairy lights, and then we've assumed that he got money in the bank. Okay, I am of the objective so far as to what the information has told me. I don't think he has money in the bank. Okay, I don't think he has money in the bank. You know what I mean? I hear you, Mark. I know a lot of parents, yeah, they don't like free spirits, but they don't mind if you're a free spirit who has money. You're a spirit that doesn't have money, therefore you're not free. You're loading and you're freeloading. That's the problem. You know what I mean? You freeload. What are you gonna say, Siwe?
I think in this situation, unfortunately, we're not going to get the real tea until this experiment is over, because they're paying for the dates, the 1 month anniversary, the house, the things like that. But I think what Noi is going to have to figure out is, and I don't know if this is what Ono was alluding to, but if he is just not an ambitious person, and or if money is not a priority of his, like if he prioritizes his freedom with or without money, maybe he gets enough money for a little bit to prioritize his freedom. She's going to have to figure out, is that way of life going to work for her? I think it's too early to figure out yet. I think she's trying to piece together how far in this lifestyle he really is and how much she can pull him to her. And I think that's a fair process to try to figure out, to see how much he's willing to move. But that's what she's going to have to figure out, because if he just doesn't prioritize what she prioritizes, I mean, it's just a problem. He can have money today and not prioritize money and just have enough money to live the life he wants to live and then repeat. That type of fluctuation may not work for her. So I will want to say though, I do want to say about I don't want to beat the dead horse about Gil and Steve, because it's really, to me, it's apples and oranges still, but we keep comparing it. But what I will say is that Steve is just way more likable an individual. And I think that's a lesson that we all can learn. You can really get far by being nice, presentable, kind, like you can go really far. I mean, we can say it's skin color and I'm all power to the people. I love to do it. But in this case, I just find Steve to be a far more likable individual, and a lot of people do. And that's why a lot of bums are nice. They're very, very nice. The bummiest dudes, they know how to be kind. Like they will do everything for you. They will be in that house doing everything for you. So I'm just saying, the best bums are not like Gil. They are kind. They are real nice. They keep their mouth shut.
Okay, so Siwe, okay, so what about this comment that he made? He said, because by the way, which I'm hearing you, is Steve going to be in Noi's pocket? Would you call him a Dusty then?
Oh, 100%.
So when he said to Noi, but it hasn't financially affected you, when she said she didn't want to be the only one paying the bills, what did you think was going to be the case? What is he implying?
Confused. I don't know what he's implying. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to wait and see.
It's like the 401k in Poland. It must be in Poland.
No, I just don't know what that means. I don't think we can read too much. Now, Kojo, you told.
What does it mean to have savings in Colombia?
Oh, no, you can have a savings. You mean the 401k?
No, but that's not how you were interpreting it at the time. Come on now.
You said 401k though.
Okay, well, because it's bullcrap. That's the whole point I'm trying to say.
I'm just saying, I literally do not know what he means by the statement that you just said. When he said it's not affecting you yet, I literally paused at that statement. I'm like, are you saying it will affect her later? Or are you saying that this is not an issue now because they're paying for everything, and when they're not paying for everything, then we'll address the change of circumstances when we address it. I literally didn't know what he meant by that. I would love to know what he meant by that. I wish someone would have asked him that. So,
I mean, she did follow up by saying she didn't want to be the only financial person in the relationship. I think that gave it context.
That bull crap about I'm gonna clean, you want to clean. So I don't know. But if he starts talking what Gil was talking, he would be just as much of a Dusty. If we're still using that word, we selectively use it. I don't know what the rules are, but I'm just saying.
Go on, Lonnie.
I mean, I kind of
Steve.
disagree. To make it to even it out, we have traditional relationships and modern relationships. Again, most relationships are blend those two, but let's just put it for the simplicity of this conversation. We have modern traditional. Gil was going more of a traditional sense. I make a salary, you make a salary. This is how we do things together. If Gil made more than his ex, I forget her name, it would have been okay situation. The problem is Gil was trying to dictate how this woman should spend her finances, and that was eruption. She didn't feel protected in that situation. If they both made the same amount of money, or if Gil made more money than her, then okay, maybe that's something she could have gone on for board. But the key thing here is it's like, okay, you don't make enough money as me, you can't tell me what you want to do. That's one thing. The issue we have here with Noi is going more traditional in a traditional mindset. There is different roles that you want to do. If Steven wants to be at home and live off of Noi, then you can call that a Dusty situation. I want to call the Gil situation Dusty situation. I feel like, you know what, I don't have the power in a mindset of marriage to respect that person. That's where Gil's gonna follow his hat. Steve is making decisions where, you know what, he's not trying to be the husband that Noi wants him to be. It doesn't matter if Steve does all of the traditional, I'm a cook, I'm a clean, I'm a raise kids, whatever. If you don't go out and make X amount of money for me to have my kids, I am not going to respect you as an individual. And Steve is pretty much not showing one inkling that he wants to be a productive member of society. I can't knock Gil that, hey, you know what, hey, he's a firefighter, he has a job, he has a house and everything. He's a productive member of society, he's paying his taxes. For that relationship, it was not going to work because that woman doesn't respect what he brings to the table. And I get that, each their own. For Noi has to go into this, like, if the issues have getting a job and you want to have a job, that should be the forefront. That's not the forefront right now. She's trying to dance around that. I understand she's not being protective. I wish you'd just be honest and have a sit-down conversation with Steve. I wish Steve would just tell Noah, like, hey, I don't want to work right now. I want to collect these body unemployment checks. I want to get food stamps, and it's the way I want to be it. The key thing is like he's okay being a bum. And like, if that's okay, that's fine. I don't know how you get married and want to be a bum. Like, and we have to watch for 4 more weeks. And like, whatever this Dusty narrative, whatever you want, when it comes to being a man, Steve doesn't match up to that. At least Gil hit some of the characteristics. And again, in a different relationship, he could have thrived. In that relationship, he was going to fail. That's what it just boils down to. There's no way around this unless there's
no, go ahead. Sorry.
Unless there's a woman that's like, you know what, I'm okay being a breadwinner. I want my husband to be at home, take care of everything just to make sure I can do my own thing. That's the only way it's going to work. Noi's not that girl. Why are we forced her to be something she's not?
I agree. I think your point is talking to the people who called Gil a Dusty for his career, because you're 100% right. He was never a Dusty for his career. You were right. His career was just not going to work up with Mirla's lifestyle. That in and of itself did not make him a Dusty. I think that's why I said people really can't compare the issues, because with Gil, he wasn't a Dusty for his career. He was a Dusty telling a woman how to spend her money. Steve, if we're going to call him a Dusty, is a Dusty in the traditional sense for actually being a couch potato bum. I mean, that would be like that is the difference, and that's why they're not the same. You could both say they're both Dusty, but they're not for the same reason. That is the difference.
Like, hold on. I just feel like we're changing the Dusty definition.
I don't want to come to both Dusties. I just think, like, again, when it comes to marriage, it's provide and protect. I should be able to provide and protect for my family to the level my wife wants. For Mirla, Gil was not going to do that. for Steve is not attempting anything. So again, that's the issue. If Steve was making an attempt, then hey, we can say, hey, at least make an attempt at it. Maybe he's not gonna be everything he wants to be. At least he's gonna be represent. This boy's sitting at home making noodles every single day and washing dishes. Like, I don't know how to defend this. All the other guys are going out there working or providing or trying to provide for their families. Him, not so much. Like, honestly, I don't know what to make this. So again, if we want to say Steve's Dusty, that's fine. Am I going to say Gil's aesthetic? No. Are they ambitious, productive to what they want? No, they're not. And I think that's what we're boiling down to. I wish we just hit it on the head and just move on. Because again, it's going to be 4 more weeks of, I need this W-4, 10, I need something. Like, how much money is this? Because he's evading taxes like Trump. I'm getting tired.
We can move on.
Yeah,
I find it funny. No, go on, Sean.
It's a slippery slope, and I just think like we're gonna have to agree to disagree because these different definitions that pop up and are subtle. I'm not into that because that's not why folks were calling Gil a Dusty. It had nothing to do with him telling Mirla what to do. It was his career, and the narrative was he made significantly less than Mirla, and the nerve of him to tell her what to do, making so much less than she does, and the emphasis was on the less that he made. That was the emphasis. It was, that was the problem. And a Dusty, you look in the urban definition, you look that up, it's a man of low means, broke. Don't say nothing about nobody's mindset, about how they think, what they do. Yes, it's an element of manipulation and taking advantage of women. Yes, but everywhere you look, broke. And that's what people was doing. But for some reason, and I don't know what it is.
Because Gil paid his
rent. I don't know what the reason is. No, let me have my time. You had your time. I'm reclaiming mine.
I just wanted
to. I'm reclaiming my time, and I'm saying for whatever reason, I'm not going to speculate on what said reason is, but there's some reason that this Steve guy gets so much grace from everybody. And it's like, well, we have to see the facts. We didn't give Gil that grace. And I'm not saying he was good. I'm not saying Gil was great, but he did not get any grace. He got immediate judgment. He got called out. Sure, it's not triggered, Jay. I'm not triggered like Robin, but I think like at the end of the day, we can't just spin it. We're going to be spinning this all night long. It is what it is. Steve got grace. Gil didn't get the grace. That's it. And all the facts are lining up for good old Steve. He ain't got it.
Could Gil pay his rent on time, Sean? That's all I want to know.
He wasn't evicted from the apartment that he was in
because of Mirla, right? If you can't pay your rent on time, what's that?
He was not evicted. See, that's after the fact. We did not see that on the show. This is stuff that Mirla talked about, right? So, but we're going to talk about the context of Lifetime and MAFS. That did not take place on Lifetime. It did not take place on MAFS. This whole Bill Gates issue and the whole rent payment, down payment. That took place after the fact, and it was never exposed until leaks of information. So we want to talk about the show and what we saw on the show and what we're seeing on the show.
All right. It's so funny. Oh, you lot are funny, man. I mean, no, but do you know what? I think it's aside obviously the dust narrative, whether he's a dust or not, doesn't really make a difference. But and I love the conversation because it's funny because you guys are actually hilarious. But no, I mean, I think there are some real things here, which is once a conversation has come up, though, there has been clear aspects of deflection, right? So that is an issue in itself. Aside, obviously, the dust narrative, he actually has been deflecting, right? So there has been some more subtle manipulation from him in the sense of he doesn't answer the question or he doesn't get round to answering the question. There's always a reason why he hasn't answered the question. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there were time the cooking won't be done, the cooking won't be done, the cleaning won't be done, and so those are kind of deflections, you know what I mean? If I do it, how can I trust that you're going to actually, pull your weight in the cooking and the cleaning area? Well, sorry, is that the reason why you're not getting a job? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that the reason why you're not getting a job because they won't be cooking and cleaning be done the same way? Like let's keep it a buck. What is a real reason why you're not actually getting a job? That for me makes him dusty. That just that. If you got, I don't care if you got money in, if you got money in Arkansas. Listen, sir, we need to see the funds, okay? And you making excuses about why you can't go and do it because you won't put enough Maggie cube and seasoning into your food makes no sense for me, okay? Because listen, if my mom suddenly told me because she's been working so hard she can't put no flavor and seasoning in the food, we're all gonna look at her like she's crazy, okay? Like if that's your excuse as why you can't flavor your food because you have to go to work today, I'm gonna look at you like you don't love yourself, you don't love me, you don't love the pots and the pans that you're cooking the food into. You know what I mean? So, I find that as an excuse. There's no way that should be an excuse, and that is trash. That is trash. That's what makes him dusty, alongside Gil. Yes, Gil's got a different type of dust. This person's also another type of dust. The dust is dusting up in here. Different types of dust. Fine, granulated, caster sugar dust, granulated dust. You know what I'm saying? Sugar cube dust. There's different types of dust that come out.
Diamond
here, you know
dust. We're gonna call Steve Diamond Dust.
Diamond dust. Okay, we'll call him
Dust.
Diamond Dust. You call him Diamond Dust. We're going. All right, cool.
Man of no color dust.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Okay, I think we've exhausted. Sorry about that. I think we've exhausted Steve Neujobs today. All right, let's talk about Mark and Lindsey because we did talk about last week. Mark the Shark is Mark the Goldfish now, but Mark the Shark did some really lovely things for his wife. He plotted out a nice little getaway in the Inca huts. Like we know, he had a nice little stove that can cook the pizza on. It looked really, really nice. It was really, really tasty. There was something that he said that sent my senses to the sky. He said, I want to do something nice because Lindsey has been so pretty much dedicated to the marriage. Not to him, not to love. He said to the marriage. And I said, what? And I realized at that moment, this goon does not care. He does not give a heck about his darling. Okay, he's just doing what he needs to do to get along, cross over the finishing line, and be out. Because why would you want to reward her because she's been so great to the marriage? Not to you, but to the marriage. And so I get it. He's a people pleaser and he's doing what he does best. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on Mark the Shark and Lindsey as well. I know he recently lost his job as well. What happened to his job? Did he get fired or something? Or what happened to his job? Did Lindsey rock up to his job and say something to the bosses or something?
She called the supervisor and said she doesn't like his shifts. So they said, you got to go, bro.
Not Lindsey showing her toxicity.
No, I think it was the shooting schedule. I think it was something with the shooting schedule.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. But Sean, talk to us about what Lindsey and Mark, what's your kind of thoughts on this recent episode we just seen?
So yeah, no, I don't see it for them. I think it was a great gesture. But Lindsey is constantly, slightly building him up just to knock him back down. And I think, she has done nothing but, really look for ways to belittle him, to put herself on a pedestal and look down above, down at him. And I just thought it was so ironic that she was okay with him not working. And to me, that just seemed like the trap door to her coming back at him and complaining, because the couple episodes back, she was demeaning his job and his salary, after she went off. So now the man is saying, I want to get a job. I need to focus on getting a job. That is a priority for me. And she's like, well, don't you want to focus on me? Two things can happen at the same time. And why does he need to not work in order to solely, give into your needs? So I think she's got some real issues in terms of the way she, runs relationships, the way she carries herself in relationships. I think she still doesn't get it, still has no self-awareness. And I'm really, really tight at her black scent at the dinner when she had the nerve to refer to Katina as the B word, like she's a soul sister, and she's, part of the culture. Ma'am, you're not invited to the barbecue. You're not invited to the cookout. You don't talk that way. And definitely, if you were, you would know better that when a black couple is having a heated argument like they was having, you mind your business and you sit back. And unless you have some calming, peaceful, kind, loving words, sit down and shut up and be a fly on the wall. So I'm kind of tired of her. And I think Steve is just kind of, Mark rather, is just kind of appeasing her, going along to get along. But I'm ready for her to go away. That's my thought.
Love those thoughts. Thank you very much, Sean. Definitely hear you on that, soul sister. V, talk to me. What's your thoughts on Mark and Lindsey? Cookout, no cookout?
Lindsey will be the one at the cookout that drink up all the Hennessy and leave with 3 plates to act like she cooked something. She has no manners. She's super disrespectful. She's complaining about, well, she's happy that he's not working. And like Sean said, she was complaining that he was only making $60,000. Mark, to me, is disgusted with her. He doesn't even want her touching him. He's disgusted with her whole being. He's just going along with it just to get to the end. He always wanted a wife, and we already know that he is a people pleaser. So he's just going to ride this out, and he's going to ride it out like the train engineers that Lindsey really dated. I don't think she dated any real engineers because nobody's taking her to any company picnic where she can't even take a drink and she's going to embarrass you. So I really do not see it for Lindsey. I'm ready to get the decision day, and I really hope that Mark sees that video where she was talking all that trash and he says no, and then there's no more Lindsey. And I still think that Olajuwon and Lindsey would make an amazing couple. That's all.
We done lost Kojo. Sean, what you think?
Yeah, he's gonna be back. He just his phone died, so I guess we could move on to see where you want to go next, or Onu, whomever.
I'll go. It's fine. Yeah, I thought their scene at their 1-month anniversary, he seemed really emotional. He seemed, I agree with Lindsey, a bit guilty. His guilt, I think, is about him not pulling his weight in the marriage. I do agree with Kojo. I don't believe it had much to do with Lindsey at all. But I do think he can tell that because of his life situations that are going on, he's given a little dust himself. But again, we're not going to really say it because we like him. Again, that's, if we like you, then we don't call you Dusty. But he got some dust flying his own self, to be honest. But if it's because of the show, then you really can't, you can't, if the show gets you fired, what can you really do? So that's kind of unfortunate. But I think he is guilty about the fact that she's been doing the most, but like y'all are peeping, her doing the most and her talking about she don't mind he ain't got a job is all control, and it'll backfire, and she will get him with that sharp tongue as soon as it's not working for her. She's just one of those people who you can't let do too much for you because it'll all come circling back. But this episode, not saying that I didn't know Lindsey was annoying, but this episode, she really just annoyed me. She was talking when no one was talking to her, constantly beating that man on top of his head, not reading the room. And when she called Katina a B, I almost shut my computer. I was like, girl, you lucky Katina is preoccupied right now with her husband acting a fool. Because if she wasn't, she probably would get you. Like, Lindsey just, I mean, Lindsey's not a bad person, but Lindsey just does too much. And I understand why Mark is just kind of like, whatever. But I do disagree. I don't think they're going to say no on decision day. I think Mark has gave up so much for this process that he's going to ride this ship until he can't ride it no more. I don't think he really is feeling her like that, but he going to ride this ship. And he needs the money, and they get a bonus. He ain't saying no. He need Lindsey at this point, and Lindsey want to be needed. It's a toxic situation. So.
Thank you very much. Seaway, appreciate that. Yeah, I hear you on there. Master Onu. Talk to us about Mark the Sharp, baby.
Mark
Loving
and
the
White.
shirt, by the way.
All right, so I feel bad for Mark. I mean, I think Mark has been given a tough hand to deal with, but like the issue is he applied for this show, like he's in the big leagues. But at the same time, like, if this is the Premier League, he's Norwich City and he's going against Manchester United and you're expecting him to win the game. And I'm just like, I don't see it happening. The boy's checked out. He's not attracted to her. He got his fun on the wedding night, and literally he's just trying to get to week 8 so he can get to like deuces. Like, I don't see Lindsey White Karen bringing the best out of Mike. Best out of Mark. I don't see Mark trying to recognize or try to grow. She's like, I want to give you congratulations, Star, for hanging in there for the 4 weeks and let me do something nice for her. I mean, that's what guys who are in relationships aren't going anywhere do things like this all the time. The difference between that and someone wanting to be in marriages, they're going to find a way to actually work on themselves, i.e., Michael, versus like, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and see how far I can go. We have a good day and we have a bad day. We have a good day and 2 bad days. It's going back and forth. I'm getting tired. The key thing here is Mark isn't that person. Now, if Lindsey wants to bet the farm and bet it on potential, like maybe he'll be developed to the husband I want him to be, fine, so be it. I'm like, I don't put potential in the people above 35, especially on this show. I don't know why we're doing it. We're doing it for Steve. We're doing it for Mark. We like Steve. We don't like Mark. I mean, they're the same people now. They both don't have jobs. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Now for Lindsey, again, I don't know what it is that you want, because you're giving us a mixed message. You want someone that's going to be supportive, that encourage you as a person, etc. And now you don't want him to be himself. You want him to be. You wanted someone that's going to be able to support and understand you, ground you. But then every single time we have a at-will conversation, you undermine Mark to the point that he's scared to say exactly what he has to say. Like, I fear for his safety. I wish there was like a sign or a flag that he's like, you know what, hey, I feel uncomfortable. Please get me help because we're leaving in here to die. And honestly, this is enough. Like, I just need this. Let Mike Karen go back to where she came from. Let Mark go disgrace this again. I don't see what 4 more weeks of being in this pseudo marriage is going to do for both people. Norwich City. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know. I was listening. Sorry, I was talking to myself. Continue, fam. Are you done? Okay. Appreciate it, Anu. Thank you. Sorry, I read Sean's comment aloud in my head. So read it out aloud. Yeah, my bad. But thank you for Anu. Where's the shirt from? I like the shirt. You know, ask me on the air. Where's your shirt from? You're blocked. I can't hear you.
He's mute.
When I went to Nigeria in 2019, I had like some shirts like built up. And I was like, you know what, I'm not wearing them all. Then I saw Naeem from was it Ready to Love? He was rocking African shirts. Like, you know what, I gotta do this eventually. So it's like, you know what, I got home late, so I had to change some things. So I was like, I try to do something different.
I like it. It's very nice.
I know people in comments are like liking the new look, so thank you.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Coming out looking like Michael Jackson. Love it. All right, cool. The African Michael Jackson. Back it up, Karen. Okay. You got a wristband? Have you ever seen that? Have you seen the TikTok? TikTok's hilarious. All right, cool. Anyway, listen, sorry, Bree, talk to us. Your thoughts on Mark the Shark and Lindsey. What do you think?
Okay, so I agree with everyone and what they said about them. I do believe Mark is completely checked out, and I do not believe that he's attracted to her anymore. And like Lindsey, like I'm starting to feel like Katina with her. Like, I don't like her, and everything is always about her. Like, me. I just kept listening to her. It was just like me in every sentence, and I'm like, you don't even think about the other person. Like, you're in a marriage now. You never, talk about what you want to do for Mark, the things that you can change. And she does not have any self-awareness. But as far as their camping trip, I thought that was nice. That was a, good gesture. He probably wanted to get it over with and stuff. And then I noticed, did she get him a gift or anything for their 1 month? Because I'm just seeing all that what he's doing. I'm trying to think, did she present him with anything? I don't think so. And I'm like, that's the like my issue with her. It's like you are so selfish. And then you have the nerve to be selfish and then be disrespectful and then talk about him like a dog in front of people and embarrass him. And so yeah, that's a mess. And then the whole scene with her, like I said earlier, I didn't like that. Like, get out of domestic disputes between spouses. That's none of your business. And I don't know who she was calling a B. I was like, I don't like that. She just needs to go. She is like really getting on my last nerves. I'm like yelling at the TV every time I see her. But as far as like what I think, as far as decision day, they may end up both saying no. You never know. You may be surprised. Lindsey might just be like, you know what? He's just not it for me. And I already know Mark doesn't want to be bothered with her. So, I mean, but we'll see. But I don't see it for them. Even if they do both say yes, I don't see it going the distance. Mark, I think, is starting to regret maybe not coming on the show, but I think he's regretting, like, Dad, why they hooked me up with this person? Like, she's crazy. But I'm so irritated with her. Like, I just want her off my screen already. So, I mean, we'll see in the coming weeks with her, but I'm tired of her disrespect. I'm tired of her getting in other people's business when she needs to work on her own self. And I hope maybe she'll see the error of her ways. So that's like my thoughts on them.
Thank you for that, guys. Yeah, I mean, Mark the Shark, you know, it's kind of sad, isn't it, really? And you know what I mean? He really is trying. He tried a little bit today. He did a little tent thing, did a little pizza thing. But I've never seen someone so signed out. Like, they are literally at the desk signing their name and they are ready to go. Okay. Basically, Lindsey has become the person who's talking to them at the desk, and you're like, when you're trying to let the person know, like, okay, I hear you. Yeah, that's where he is at the moment. Do you know what I mean? The mere fact that even when she tried to touch him, it was like, you ain't got to touch me to talk to me. I was like, oh man, like, I said, damn, like, this brother is really not on it. But do you know what? To be fair, we've seen that he's not really been on it from weeks ago when he spoke about the fact that when she was begging for sex. Listen, if you're begging for sex from your husband, I think he definitely knew he signed out. He signed out at that point because because she had been talking about this, how he de-escalated from earlier. And we did say as well previous weeks ago that if you de-escalate, it's very hard to now want to go back to escalating again. Do you know what I mean? If you de-escalate, it's usually that the thing is almost over. So yeah, the brother just wants peace, and he's finding no peace in Lindsey. And I think that's the biggest issue he's getting. It's everything that happens, she turns it to be about her. You don't get a job, suddenly it's not about you losing a job. It's about the fact that you need to spend more time with us and the kids. I don't know what kids she's talking about, by the way. I think she means her plants. But, it turns out to be about her. Bedbug situation. Well, it turns out to be about her in the end. Do you know what I mean? Like, when does something become about us, or when does it become really about him? And then she's always trying to play the psychologist in how she rates a relationship. I'm like, babe, I need you to focus on your job, which is be just a wife. You out here trying to counsel and try to gather the four connecting winds of what his thoughts are. He's got this going on. And really for me, it's just like, I'm like, babe, no. Focus on your job, okay? All right? That's where you need your energy to be, because all of this trying to gather up different information to create this whole perspective is actually making you miss the really simple things, which is that you are not his piece right now. The brother is tormented, okay, with her by his side, which is unfortunate. Sorry, did somebody want to add something? I did miss something. Yeah, go for it, Sean. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's the ultimate deflection, right? And it's a covert deflection because it's not like she's not answering questions, but she spends so much time talking about his flaws and the things that he needs to do. It's a way of her not having to deal with anything that she needs to do better. And anytime she gets any type of, feedback, constructive criticism, she gets upset, she throws a temper tantrum. So it's like, you don't even want to tell her this, information that you want her to do better, because she flips it around and she gets upset. So it's like, you can't even tell her that, you know, hey, Lindsey, I want you to work on that, because then she's, you know, her back is up and she's like, the nerve of you and blah, blah, blah. And then she starts spinning about all the things she's done. So it's to me, she's like, she is completely problematic. She's not going to do well in a marriage, because all she does is look for the things that she's told him to do and watch him do them or not. So I think like she was only happy for a little inkling of a minute because he went through the Lindsey checklist. Because even when it was so performative, because it wasn't like him, did you notice like even when he was going through the different areas of the little campground romantic soiree that he put together for her, he was like, oh, and we're gonna have sex here. It was like so forced. It was like, bro, that's not you. You know, you're forcing it. You know, and he just wanted her to shut up. He was like, I'm going to tell you everything you want to hear, so I don't have to hear anything from you. And we're just going to get through this 1 month anniversary thing.
Hey, I'm hearing you. I forgot about that part. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I can take that on, bro. That's real. Anyone else wanted to add about Mark the Sharp before we move on? No? All right, we'll just swim over to other shores. Okay, let's go on to another. Let's go on to another couple. Let's talk about Jasmina and Michael. I want to get your thoughts on them too, because it seems like they've done a gigantic turnaround. You know, they seem to be on the rise. Okay, all right, no, okay, this seems to be a good turnaround. No, I thought they turned it around. You know, the brother seems to be getting it now. He understands. You know, Jasmine looks like she's ready to have some babies. Okay, she will. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looked like they're ready to get it on. But I could be wrong. What's you guys' thoughts on Michael and Jasmina? Sorry. That genuinely was a Freudian slip. Bree, what's your thoughts on these two?
Y'all are making me laugh today. I'm so funny. Oh gosh, Mikhail. Oh, don't even having flashbacks. But anyway, I don't think they're ready to like get it in yet. I am glad to see that they made some progress this week. You know, I did like how that was a nice setup that Michael did for their 1 month anniversary. I still feel like Jasmina kind of needs to take a little bit of like accountability for things that she does, because she like has an attitude problem. But she was okay this week, so I'm gonna give her some grace. But I do like, you know, how Michael said, you know, what he recognized that what he needs to do for Jasmina as opposed to what he thinks he needs to do for her. So he did recognize that. And I kind of wanted Jasmina to kind of say like, oh, you know, like, well, this is what I think I should be doing for you. Like, I don't know. I just felt like it was just all about her. I don't know. That's just probably just me. This week, you know, it was better. For seeing scenes for next week, she's basically saying, I don't feel nothing for him at all. And I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe towards the end, because I saw the after show and she seemed kind of giddy over him. So maybe they said yes to each other. Maybe they're in a better place today. But as far as watching this week's episode, I feel like they're trying to get there, but I don't think they're ready to lay it down yet. I think they're starting to like each other a little bit as people. And then it probably will progress. But it was a better episode for them this week. But I want Jasmina to kind of take some accountability for her stuff. Like, she needs to be saying to Michael as well, like, you know, I recognize, you know, how I came off at you. I apologize, you know, things like that. I wanted her to say that, but in her mind, she thinks she's always right. So, I mean, we'll see, but that's my thoughts for them on this week.
Love those thoughts. Thank you very much, Storm. Appreciate you. Anu, give us your thoughts on Jasmina and Michael. Better turn around this week, you know, violins and all.
I like Michael is being accountable. So you know what? I want to give congratulations to Michael for the growth he's seen this week. I think the key thing a lot, especially with guys like younger guys, is like, again, Olajuwon even falls to the same division too. It's like, you want to be married, this is how married people talk. This is what married people do versus what they want from their partner or what they can do to make that person a lot better. And you can see that, especially in his tone, he's actually he looks to talk with his wife versus talk at her or try to deflect. It's getting better it's getting better at the halfway mark, but at the same time, they still have a far way to go because again, I don't see them as a strong communicator. They're finding a better way to communicate, if that makes any sense. With Jasmina doesn't like this boy. And again, I don't think he views him as a man. She's still as a man or as a partner. She's right now the halfway point is like I'm looking for someone to fall in love with, someone to respect, and that's not what you want to hear from when you're trying to describe your spouse. Now, I understand you don't have to. I don't want it. It doesn't have to be like a sexual nature, but at the same time, is there has to be something you like about him versus the point of the versus. Just being able to talk to you nice. And it just seems like I feel like I'm in my counselor's high school counselor's office when I see them talking on dates and stuff, and it's just like, if there's a way to show like big sister, little brother without it being that, I mean, this is what it is. And Mike is becoming better, which is great, but at the same time, this is not what Jasmina wants. And I don't know if it's due to the fact that she's been in long-distance relationships, she's difficult to communicate with, etc. If someone does something nice for you, I expect a stronger reaction than what I'm seeing. I like what Mike did about redoing the vows, things that were recreating the whole first date. It was a nice gesture, but at the same time, it's just like, did she really? If this was not on camera, would she have given the same exact response? Because at this point, it just seemed photoshopped to the point like, if this is the best you can do, I don't want it. Because you have been giving your best up until now. So what makes you think a light switch is going to happen to do better? At least Mike wants to do better for her. Jasmine does not want to do better for him. She just wants someone that she can talk to at each other, that can do nice things for her and move on, which is, I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But what I would want more if this is like I want to fight for a marriage. So yeah.
Appreciate that, Onu. Yeah, I do hear about the Photoshop look, and I do hear about the reaction as well. I was trying to give her a pass, because I was being so hard on her for the past few weeks, and I thought, let me at least, let up on the break on her neck. So I definitely hear what you're saying. Okay, I appreciate it, Onu. Beyonce, what's your thoughts?
Let me unhumble myself, and I'm gonna assume you're talking to me.
Yeah, coming out like one of her sisters, like the Knowles up in here, baby. Go and talk to
Thank
us.
you. I think this relationship is a giant-sized gaslight. Not since we're rehashing all of our old words from last season, we're just gonna bring them all back. This season, their couple, their interaction. I mean, mostly just Jasmine is gaslighting the hell out of Michael, and us, and the audience, because this is just not it. I don't believe it. She doesn't like this man. She's talking about, their progress, only if you communicate with me better, and look, we wasted 4 weeks and look at where we're at. There is nothing that Michael can do at this point that's going to fix the situation. And every single time that I am listening to him talk, my heart just breaks a little bit. And I don't know if I'm getting soft or what it is, but there's something about Michael's sincerity about this relationship, and the fact that I know in my spirit that Jasmina has been done since day 2 really makes me sad, because I hope that he's able to duplicate this effort in his next marriage or relationship, because he's going to need that energy. And I don't want him to be discouraged by this not working, and him not try to duplicate his effort, because the things that he's doing, even the things that he did wrong originally, his correction will work for somebody that really wants to be with him. It's just not going to work here. So I don't want him to feel like the changes that he's making, trying to be better for Jasmina and being better man in general, it's not worth it, because it will be worth it for someone else. It's just not going to be worth it for Jasmina at no point. And I wish you would just say that. Like, I love what you're doing. I love the progress, but you're not doing it for me, and you just won't. So let's just like cut it here. And her lack of accountability and letting Michael take all the blame while she sits there and nods her pretty head. It's all staged. Even down to her, sleeping without that bonnet. Also staged. I peeped that. I'm like, girl, you're one of the people who sleep with a bonnet. I know you do. So what is this fake scene in the bed going on? Fake. It's just fake. She's just a well-groomed, well-polished Alyssa. And it continues. And Michael has all these good intentions. Not saying he's a perfect person, he's flawed. But and I don't blame him. I blame her for not wanting him. I'm pretty sure there's things about him that she didn't like, both physically and on the inside. But it's like, at this point, sis, pull a Brett and Ryan, make it clear, ride out to the end, get your bag, and stop playing with us, because that's all you're doing. So.
Thank you very much again. Appreciate Yonsei. Yes, V, talk to us. Thank you, B.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking Michael needs to channel his Viola Davis meme and use those arms that she likes so much and pack that one brown shirt he keeps wearing and pack that bag and head out. He's wasting his energy. It's done. Jasmina does not like him. She's pretending for the TV. Like I said, she's a beautiful woman, but the more and more I'm watching the season and the way she acts and the way she treats him, it's all fake. I totally agree with Seaway. She's putting on for TV. She's a much nicer, calmer, well, I'm not gonna say nicer, a more refined Alyssa. Alyssa at least told old boy Chris that he needs to move on and she don't want to be involved at all. She moved into Jasmina moved into an apartment, pretended, and I don't know what words I can say on here, but if he could fix that beautiful breakfast and do all those flowers and all that stuff, and he can't even hold her hand, he definitely not getting the box. It's not happening. She's saying no, and they need to move on.
Short, sharp, simple. Appreciate it, V. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Right on the money. I think Sean is away quickly. So I'll fill in for him until then. But yeah, I think Michael, Jasmina, I do feel for them. I do feel for Michael especially, not just because he's a guy, but I think more of a case of the fact that he actually is trying. And I think we can all see that Jasmine is checked out. She has been checked out. She's never liked him. I know she says she likes him when they walk down the aisle, but the energy she's been given since that day after that makes no real sense. If they were so perfect, you've never returned back to there. You've never sprang back. You've never given us the energy that, after I really like you, it's always been a fight with the other person. I don't think you like the person. I think it's easier to say that so you don't look like the baddie, or, it's giving me Miller vibes at the end of the season saying I never liked him. You know what I mean? Like, just admit that you don't like him. It's okay. You don't fancy him. You don't find him attractive. That's okay. We can work on that and we can move on that. I think, it's unfortunate that, we find ourselves in that situation with Michael and Jasmina, and again, these 1 month anniversaries, when people really are not feeling the 1 month anniversary, it's difficult because it's like she's not feeling it. She's not there. But then it's really odd because in the after party, she going on like she really be feeling him. I'm like, babe, which one is it? You know what I mean? Like, are you feeling him later on? Something happened and something that you guys suddenly open up? What happens that you got to this position where you're being so suddenly on Michael, feeling wise on after party? I don't know what's going on there. So for me, yes, Natalie, it is giving that same kind of energy Karen and Miles. I think Karen probably gave a bit more than Jasmina's given right now, but it's got that same kind of thing, which is like, I don't really like you like that, and everything becomes an issue. So yeah, I think when we saw them having a nice little dinner date. It was nice for him to do that. Nice of them both to do the renewing of vows and stuff like that. But in all honesty, I just don't feel they feel each other like that. Do you know what I mean? I just don't feel she sees him as the man that she wants. I think she wants a certain type of male, and I don't think he is that certain type of male, which is unfortunate. But au revoir to them, and we'll see them next week. Hopefully, I thought the cut. I thought last week's episode preview was that he said something. Michael was saying something that was negative about relationship, but it doesn't look. I don't know if it played out in this episode. Did it play out in this episode? Did it not play out in this episode? Was this my mind? Maybe it's just my mind. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Sorry, Sean. Yeah. What's your thoughts? Are you the last person on Michaela and sorry, I keep saying Michaela, bro.
You got Michaela on the mind.
I know. Michael and Jasmina.
Yeah, no, I think everybody kind of covered it. I think just the main thing is that I think they have moved from disdain to tolerance, because before, I think that's what we were seeing between the two of them. It was just disdain. They didn't really like her, and I think it was more from her than him, the disdain part, because he couldn't get anything right. He could be agreeing with her and it turns into an argument, right? Because he doesn't say it, or he's taking a tone. The infamous tone kept coming up. But I think she does love the attention. She likes the attention that Mike is giving her. And another one following through a checklist of things. But his seemed very genuine. Like, I think if she, was able to come along a little bit, he would be into her. And I think he would like to make the relationship work, but I don't think it will, because he doesn't see any effort from her. It's just very kind of like, oh, that's so nice. Like, she's like patting him on the head. And, I get it. Everybody is not like, it's not going to be a rom-com running around with the two of them, but there is no romance. I don't see any chemistry between the two of them at all. I don't see it at all. It looks very friendly, very PC. They sleep together, but there could be a mile between them, in the bed. So I don't see chemistry, and I definitely don't think these two are going to go, past decision day, or I hope they don't, because she's definitely not into him.
I'm with you, bro. I'm definitely with you. She's definitely not into him. It's unfortunate, man. It's even hard to even talk about them this episode, because you're like seeing some positive stuff and you just know heartbreak is coming at the end. Heartbreak. If they say yes at the decision day, I'm gonna be pissed. Something better. There's no way they should be saying yes, but some things can change. We still got another week or two? We got another week or two before decision day? Yeah, or we got a bit more to go, have we? I don't know. Okay.
I think that's the halfway mark from what they explained.
Nigga, what?
They're at the halfway mark.
The halfway?
Yes.
I think they'll speed it up. I think they'll speed it up, though.
Halfway?
I think.
We're 11 episodes in.
Isn't it 8 weeks? I thought it was 8 weeks. And they're at the 4-week mark. I thought it was 8 weeks. That's what I thought, but...
Yeah, it's 8 weeks. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so maybe they're going to edit some stuff then.
I mean, but they keep flip-flopping back and forth, and we see stuff from 2 or 3 episodes ago. So I'm not saying we're going to have another, we're at the halfway mark for episodes, but I think we're at the halfway mark in their relationship.
Damn. Okay. I hear you. I've never been so... Fam, this thing is dragging, blood. Fam, it is dragging. I even forgot. Someone even said they haven't even done a retreat yet. I even forgot. Usually the retreat is what you look forward to, but I'm just like, I'm looking at them side.
And that's usually like 2 messy episodes of the retreat.
Yeah, that usually is as well. The retreat is usually got
fall apart.
There's been some great retreats in the past, man. Do you know what I mean? There's been some great retreats out there. So hopefully this will stand in good stead.
DC retreat is still the best retreat in Married at First Sight history.
Which one was DC? That one
that was
Michael
the one
and
when Brandon yeah, and then one of them didn't had the fake job and had to go back to.
That was Michael.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, he only got flowers for his family member dying.
I'm only 3 seasons into Married at First Sight, so I'm a newbie. But I gotta say, so far, I love the last that when she tore through that furniture like a stick figure. They did it in slow motion, and then what's his face? Ryan came in, and she cussed Ryan too. It don't get no better than that for me. He stopped swatting them flies.
Yo, it's a shame you've only been 3 seasons in. You missed the KT and what's the young boy's name, man? Oh, I can't remember what the guy's name is. Katie one was even more hilarious, bro, because the guy was getting a bit of attention, just a little bit, not even like major attention from one of the other ladies. It wasn't even deep. She was just being friendly, and Katie went off on one after she had a boyfriend that she hadn't finished with. It was mad. Like there was so much craziness. Gaslight. If I knew the word gaslighting, then I would have used it severely because that was classic gaslighting with Katie. But yeah, another great retreat there. So there's been quite a few great retreats along the ways as well. So yeah, we enjoy it. Michael was a whole damn liar, so we don't mess with that boy.
Like,
Okay, so
watch that season. That he needs to go back and watch that season. That was worth it. That DC
yeah, you do, bro. That one, bro. I'm telling you, I did reviews all through that scene. That scene was crazy, bro. I'm telling you, even after the show was done, bruh, like he was. Listen, Brandon was telling stories like he met Taylor out in partying, and she was trying to make him jealous, and she was coming down the stairs, and he saw, oh, bruh, it was crazy.
That the guy that was a pathological liar, and the girl got a annulment?
Yes, that's the same season. Yeah, okay. Michael was saying he's going to go to Jamaica.
I saw clips of it, but I'll go back and watch that.
Yeah,
one.
that season is crazy, man. He was saying all kinds of stuff like, I've got tickets to Jamaica, going to swim with the dolphins. Nigga, he ain't got nothing. He ain't got nothing, bro. He got a Groupon, and a Groupon is to Jamaica, maybe somewhere in America.
Another one, wasn't he sleeping in his car too? Before the show? Or that was somebody different?
Maybe someone different. I think he had a house.
I think Matt was sleeping in his car.
Oh, was Matt? Was it the same season?
That's North Carolina. That's the Carolina season. The one with the basketball player.
Oh, Matt and Amber.
Yeah, now that was also another good season. That was another good one, but it don't top DC. But yeah, he was sleeping in his car, I think. That's the original Dusty. That was the original Dusty.
That was original Dusty. This guy. There's been so many great seasons there. They've been moving mad. Yeah, we'll have another live where we talk about some of the past seasons again, because it's we'll relive some good moments from the past because it's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, so let's talk about obviously the one that's obviously getting everybody talking this week. They seem to be man of the match all over again once more. They take the Player of the Tournament award, I believe. I don't think we need to see any more episodes to know that they are the two that will be the most talked about this season. Once again, they are the drama starers. After we had Alyssa and Chris leave, they needed somebody else to take that podium, and they have done just that in spectacular fashion, leading the pack well ahead and leaving no room and space for anybody else to catch up. They're wearing the yellow jersey. So now we're talking about obviously Ola, sorry, I should say, not even Olu, it's Ola and Katina. And it's some craziness. And I want to get you guys' thoughts. I want to get you guys' thoughts on, first and foremost, y'all see the eggs that she cooked? Oh, you didn't see the eggs?
Those were egg strips. Those were egg strips. Disrespectful shreds of egg.
He is women who don't cook a bad rap. Like, I was just thinking, I'm like, there's people who don't cook and there's people who can't cook. We need to start separating it, because that's the can't.
Yo,
I'm a don't, but that's a can't. When I saw those eggs, I was like, what is that? And eggs are bare minimum.
Nah, you gotta have an art to mess with an egg, because if you don't have enough milk to egg ratio, you don't whip it enough, it's gonna you got to know what you're doing to mess around with an egg. Unless you're doing just some old dry fried egg, then yeah, you can play around. But
but you know what? It's fam. You know what it is, fam. She just needed to butter the pan, bro. Like, she just needs to butter the pan.
Nah, bro. Butter wouldn't have helped that. Them eggs was beat up.
They were sticking to the bottom of the pan, though. They were stuck to the pan. She needed butter. That was like number one.
Butter and less of a heavy hand, because she beat them eggs up. That's what she was taking it out on. Oh, I'm telling y'all, the quiet ones. She was like, I got you in your app.
You appreciated her eggs. Thank you.
Yeah, them them eggs were done. I ain't gonna lie to you, they were done. It's a shame, really. Okay, so aside her eggs, obviously, which again, that's unfortunate. She can delegate that out to a chef, maybe. But aside her eggs, you know, what were you guys' thoughts on this episode? Because I think she is the only one, and I don't know if she answered it on the after party. Maybe someone who watched the after party can confirm. Did she say what he did for her? Did he do something after the cameras weren't showing or anything like that? I know she showed she had a little wrist band thing, but I don't think that was for the 1 month anniversary. But you know, what was your guys' thoughts on Ola and Katina? What was your guys' thoughts on Ola Katina? Oh my days, I'm so sorry. I'm in that mood. What's your thoughts on Ola and Katina, guys, please?
I'll go first because I can hop off
Thank you,
because I
Yonsei.
got
We appreciate you.
I know you were talking earlier about the verb, him being abusive or her being like this, it being toxic. What I'll say is that Olajuwon and Kojo, you'll say it if you say Ola. If you say Ola, yeah, you'll say Ola, then you'll say it. But I think Olajuwon is toxic, but unintentionally. Like, I think he sabotages his own self and his own relationships with his issues. And I do think I hope that Katina is speaking up, not on camera. Like, I hope she has more control than she's letting on. Because if she doesn't, this is gonna be kind of a kind of toxic cycle. I do think if there was going to be anybody for him, if we're going to agree that he is fit to be dating, maybe we don't agree to that. But if there's going to be anybody for him, Katina probably is the best match that I think could have been put with him with the issues that I'm seeing. But I still don't like how I feel like, at least on camera, it looks like she's shrinking. And that whole situation with the app, I mean, I understood his frustration, but his explosion was just unnecessary. And I think if he would have spoke to her like a decent human being, she would have actually acknowledged, like, hey, it was old, not trying to offend you, I'll delete it. But no one's gonna respond that when you're screaming at them. And I just don't like the way he came at her. I think that was Lynn made a good question, but who's for her? That's a good question. I don't know if he's best for her though. I do think it could be a better fit out there for her. Someone who would make her feel safer, and just less toxic. But I do believe that she is probably, one of the better people they could have put with him until he really figures out and sorts out his issues. The fact still remains, I think he's committed to the process, in my opinion. And I think that he really wants to be here. I think he really likes Katina. But yeah, I think Truly said, yeah, he's unhinged. He is. I think that's the best way to say about him. He's unhinged, and his personality is particularly dangerous and abusive because he can't control it. He just seems like he's emotionally just whatever. So I don't know. I want to root for him, but he's just, his behavior is just, him outing her at that table was unacceptable. So
thank you very much, B-Way. I appreciate that. V, talk to us. What's your thoughts on this, man? Intentional, unintentional? His behavior?
First of all, I think it's intentional. What I noticed first in the episode was how happy he was sitting watching her make them nasty eggs. That was hilarious to me. So either way, I think it's intentional, and he feels like she needs to put all the effort in because he feels like him going to work is enough. He even took a jab at her when they were in what he was calling the gondola. When he was talking about the gondola, he took a jab. He's like, she did a mix between her party lifestyle and my laid back lifestyle, and she's finally doing something, like he was so happy that she did something for him, but he was still taking jabs. And like I said on the other chat, I assumed maybe it was the F buddy on the phone in the text, but to find out it was an old dating app. We have so many dating apps that we probably forget all about. There's so many apps on your phone, unless your phone tells you to clean it, you won't even remember are still there. He would have had more of something valid to say if it would have still been active, or if he would have seen her out on the dating site. But if he saw her out there, what was he doing there, right? Why are you going through her phone? And then he made sure to ambush her at the dinner table to make her be embarrassed, and then try to act like he didn't want to embarrass her. But why did you even bring it up at the table? The same way you bring up the disrespect and start acting up at the table is the same way you would have needed to apologize and act right. And then when they got home, he did not read the room. She was giving him the evil eye. She was trying to hold it in, and he just kept pushing and pushing, coming at her. Everybody, that's how I can kind of tell he hasn't dated black women, because there's a look we give you. We're like, hold on, you take it any further, I'm about to pop off. But he just kept going. And then when she rolled her eyes, that's her way of, I think that's her way of expressing her displeasure without cussing, because I think she's trying to hold her reputation or hold her brand. I think that's why she hasn't popped off and said, that's why she said, be careful, the real Katina is going to come out, because she has it in her, but she actually cares if she embarrasses him in public. He doesn't give a crap. I think everything he does is intentional. I think he's super toxic, and I definitely think that he was not ready to be married. Isaac needs to go get whatever he needs to get taken care of to get himself together, to know what his role is in a marriage while he's busy telling other people what their role is. But that's it.
Appreciate that, V. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh no, what's your thoughts on this, bro? Talk to me.
Let's just boil it down to the last 5 minutes or so. Olajuwon, Ola, Big O doesn't respect women, doesn't respect Katrina, and like it's coming out in spades. Like at first, I just like for him to be that heated over an app on the phone, to me, it's like, you know, it's kind of doesn't make sense to me. It resembles a toxic individual. I hate going back to sports, but I mean, Olajuwon's the Antonio Brown of relationships. Like this thing is going to blow. You have to like get far away. It doesn't matter who's around. You can have the best person. Like Katrina is being mocked up as the Tom Brady of girlfriends, wives, what to be, and she still can't keep Olajuwon in order. It's like there's always something. He's never happy, and even if I don't even think the sex thing is even a big deal, because even if that was happening, this bulby's popping off left and right. I mean, you can say anger issues, but I don't think he's ever lost something, like when it comes to relationship or something that got to the point where if he felt remorseful for his actions. Most people are this toxic, like they don't mind. They don't care what happens, because they can feel like, you know what, I can come back and find another girlfriend, another relationship, whatever. It's never ever what it ever did to a certain person. This doesn't happen overnight. The previous relationships he's been like this, where it'd be even worse. And again, it goes, and he's just never happy. She's never happy, no matter what she does. The girl is trying. This is a girl who doesn't cook at all. It's not I cook. Sometimes she does cook at all. She's made an attempt to cook or try her best. It might not be top chef, it might not be Michelin star, but at least she's trying. And of course, while trying, you're going to make mistakes along the way. A good husband or a good spouse or good someone's like, you know what, hey, I know you're trying this, but I'm gonna find ways to fix things and make you become better, versus judging you to whatever standard he has, which is a grandiose standard. That's the standard he's gotten from his parents, his mother, or other relationships beyond that he's been with. Like, I don't know where this is coming from, but this boy expects the best, and he doesn't give it out. It would be one thing if he had Steve characteristics. The boy don't have Steve's characteristics. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. He's a nice guy to look at. He has a nice body to look at. He's very good to film. When it comes to being a person, an individual, he lacks none of that. You put him in any situation, he's gonna blow up. Antonio Brown style. I know you don't watch football, but yeah, it's a whole big thing that happened this year. He's all about himself and his own brand, which is just fine. Katrina, she's being the model girl. She's doing everything by the book. She's being the model girlfriend. You can even see like, hey, things that are more important to her, like the first, like the 1 month anniversary. She was like, look, I'm not gonna let you plan or make a mistake out of this because I want the moment to be memorable. If I told Olajuwon to plan the perfect first to plan the first 1 month anniversary, he would have failed out of the 4. He's the person that comes in the group project, does least amount of work, and then tattles to the teacher when it comes time to grading and saying, hey, well, I brought the poster board and get someone to put the pieces of the papers to the poster board, so I understand why we're all getting a failed grade. That's Olajuwon right now. And it's like, I'm not gonna give him credit for doing the absolute least. I'm definitely not giving him credit for the way he blew up. Honestly, I was expecting more. Now, let's assume she was on the app talking to other people. Fine, so be it. My whole thing is like, why are you checking her phone? Are you paying her phone bills? Are you giving her every situation for her not to be in these apps? Because clearly you're not. Now, if again, and doesn't seem that was the case, because again, based on what her response was, I just think like, hey, it was just an app on the phone. You can have you might have felt embarrassed. You might have had your feelings hurt by about that, which is fine. Has she given us any indication that she was in these Boston streets? Like, she's been filmed for a month. I don't see that. I don't understand exactly why you feel like, hey, because she's, again, stranger, that you expect a stranger to operate the same way as you after a month. When you're not giving your all, you're not giving any sorts of grace, because this girl's giving grace every single day. And if this is, and again, let's just, besides and we're joking about the eggs and the breakfast and things like that, off the side, if this was the only mistake she made, this is how you're going to react? Bruh, why are you here?
Bro, I'm hearing you, man. I'm hearing you. Hey, she's, bro. I'm with you, bro. I mean, I'm still about this acting, but I'm hearing you, bro. I'm hearing you. Bree, talk to us. Thank you, Onu.
Okay. I loved Ono's points, everybody's points. So good. I kind of want to take it back from the beginning with Olajuwon because I'm keeping my mouth shut. But I just got to say this, my G, you was just out here hoeing. And now all of a sudden, you know what a wife is and you know what being a husband is. Now we're going to have to step that back because you don't even know nothing about being a boyfriend. Now all of a sudden, you trying to tell somebody how to be a wife when you was just slanging that thing around. But I'm going to just say my piece. I had to get that out because I don't know who he think he is. Now, fast forward to this episode. I want to know that too. Why are you in her phone? So you're on the bus. I don't know if maybe your phone died and maybe you're trying to check the time. You're just like, hey, let me just see your phone, or you're trying to see something. But I honestly feel like Olajuwon doesn't trust her. And I felt like his move was, let me like see what's in this phone. And he found this app. I something about this whole getting her phone thing doesn't sit right with me. Now, fast forward to the dinner. For you to sit up here and embarrass your wife like that, like I was just so frustrated and like just disgusted for you to sit up here. And somebody said in the chat, this was good. Why didn't you check Lindsey for calling your wife a B? Even though I think she was using it as a term of endearment, but he should have checked that and be like, slow your roll. This has, you stay out of it. He should have done that. So I didn't like that either. You blowing up at her instead of having a civil conversation about why this was on her app and she can explain. And to be honest, I'm not even mad at Katina about it because like within this last month, you're in a whirlwind. Like, you find out you're getting married, then you're planning on this wedding, you're going dress shopping. She probably wasn't even thinking and forgot about the thing. And even she said, she's like, I don't even have an account. Like, it's just been on my phone. As many apps that we have, we probably just forgot about. I don't think she was doing anything, but I do see Olajuwon's point. Like, you're married now. You kind of should have checked this before, we went in this thing and got rid of, old stuff from the past. But I just think they really should have had a conversation about it. And then the fact that you're going to sit here and bring it to the house and still be disrespectful, talking about you're my wife and yelling in her face like that. She couldn't get a word in edgewise. I have a serious problem with that. And what I like about Katina is, and what I agree with, don't embarrass your spouse in front of people. You just wait until you get home. If you can't wait till you get home, you get his behind in the car and then you tell him about himself. But I do like that she has a lot of restraint. I think she's more mature than him. I do think Olajuwon is afraid to lose her. And like you guys were saying, that he is self sabotaging the situation. I do think he likes her and he's starting to feel her. Like he said, like, I don't just like you now, I'm feeling you. And I think in a way it's scaring him because he used to be out in them streets and he never really had like a real relationship or probably really, had deep feelings for someone. So he needs to get his act together. I think she's gonna get him in check, possibly next week. I don't know. He is low key being abusive. This is not right. And he needs some help because I don't know who he think he is, especially when you don't even know what a relationship is, nor have you even been in one. And you're sitting here talking about what she's doing. You don't even do half of the stuff that she does as a spouse. So what if she can't cook? Like, that's the basis of a marriage. It's not. So I'm gonna say my piece. I'm just gonna calm down because he's been really getting on my nerves the last 2 weeks. So that's my thing on them this week.
Thank you very much, Storm. Appreciate you as always. Probably should put my mic down. Thank you very much, Storm. Appreciate it. Sean, I don't know if I heard. Did I hear from you? I don't think I've heard from you. Yeah. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, listen, everybody has summed it up so well in the way that he approaches relationships, the way he talks, his tone. Again, if anybody needs to see a tone, that's a tone. So if Jasmina's looking for something, she's looking. That's Isaac has the tone. You know what I mean? So the way he talks, the way he immediately just jumps to conclusions before finding out information. It's one thing to have a question, but he's that person that as soon as something goes wrong, he creates the story and narrative all in his head, all by himself. And so he's got the problem, the solution, and everything in between built in. So that's problematic when somebody just goes from 0 to 60 so quickly without even getting any information. He wouldn't let her talk. He continued to, yell at her, and she barely got words out. So I think that he really needs to work on the way he communicates. He really needs to work on his definition and understanding of what a wife is, of what a husband is, of how to handle conflict. I think people just think like, oh, they get the basics in terms of, oh, I'm ready to be loyal or I'm ready to be committed. But you forget all the other things that are necessary components to be in a successful relationship. And that's, how you handle when the person makes a mistake, because people are going to do that. How do you handle an argument? How do you handle if you have an issue? And he doesn't know how to do any of that. And he's extremely immature, very immature. Every time I see him, he's just like a little boy. Even last week when I was joking and he was giving her the massage, and he's like a little awkward teenager to me. So I feel like he overcompensates, and he was like, "Ooh, I got close to the toot toot," like, come on, bro, you're a grown man, like, toot toot. That's what we doing. But that's how, and he's doing the same thing. He gets upset and he's just off. He's just going off 0 to 60, throwing the temper tantrums, falling out, trying to embarrass her in public, get attention, get people on her side. It's like, what are you doing? Like, that's how you want to handle this? You haven't even heard her side of the story. So yeah, I think he's got problems galore. I'm looking forward to the experts getting him a dose of reality. Hopefully Dr. Pepper comes aboard and, peps him up, because he's got a lot of growth to do. What I do think, in summary, is I think they're going to stay together. I think they both like each other. I think he's so off-guided and off course, but he does like her in a kind of twisted way. And my hope is that if it's true and they stay together, he really does some real serious work with himself on how he addresses issues and how he communicates, with her. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sean. Appreciate that. Yeah, you guys have kind of said it all. I won't say much at all. We were just chopping up in the chat saying about the clip that they showed. It might have been a random clip that they put, but when he was going through the phone, it's two different phones, or at least her phone had a cover on when he was going through a phone that they showed as a flashback, and then they showed the conversation after, when they were in the kitchen after after the dinner date, and her phone's black. So I don't know if they forced this narrative, whether they give him a storyline, or whether whether this is just a bad editing in a sense. But yeah, there's definitely that scene that they showed us where he's going through a phone. That is not that. I mean, I don't know who takes off their cover when they get home of their phone, and uses it without the cover. If you have a cover, you use it all the time, I'd assume. But yeah, it could be something to consider. But yeah, in all things, anyway, I think in all things, just looking at their relationship, personally, if everything I've seen is true from what we've seen from O, Katina is the run, man. This is only going to get worse. You can only you may think you can handle it, but the truth of the matter is, eventually this will work against you, because that person, that person, is doing the most emotionally. And how long can you take the emotional berating for, no matter how patient you are? So for me, I hope Katina gets it through her mind and her system that if this continues again, she needs to be out. Next week, we're seeing of her. It looks like you're crying again. When are you not crying? When are you not sad? When are you not upset? Darling, it's time to take a look at yourself and say, I don't need to be here, and I don't want to be in a situation where I'm constantly emotional. But it does sound like from some of the after party that, old girl seems very happy. The way she's talked about the relationship, even I think it was earlier in the season, she can even call O. And I said, okay, these two must have maybe potentially stayed together, maybe, after the show was done, at least at the time of filming. In that time, I'm asking the same question. How much have you had to take to make this relationship work? How much are you willing to take to make this relationship work? How much are you willing to sacrifice to keep this relationship going? That's up to her. You know what I mean? So I hope that she finds her peace, and I hope she finds her strength and chooses the right path. Okay, cool. That brings a draw and an end to the conversation. Sean, I'm gonna let you do the benediction as you always do so brilliantly.
These episodes, it's like our lives are getting shorter, Not that I'm complaining, because we get a little bit more time back. So
I hear you. Redeem the time.
It's like the episodes really aren't giving a whole lot of substance, So hoping for more substance as the episodes proceed. So we'll start off with the easiest couple, Steve and Noi. Looks like Steve still not, ready to divulge his plan. Let's hope the plan is divulged soon, because until then, we're still left to draw our own conclusions, and all roads lead to diamond dust. So, looking forward to seeing a diamond at the end of this, but right now it's looking like diamond dust. So, Steve, please share your plan. Share your plan with your wife. That is also another form of emotional manipulation, because you are withholding. So if there's a plan and it's something that she wants, and it's of substance, please, you should be sharing that with her to give her confidence. And withholding doesn't work, right? So next we have Lindsey and Mark the Shark. Another performative mess, Again, this comes back to the mirror theme, which we often talk about. Lindsey, you need to look in the mirror and be honest with who you are. Do more work on yourself. You'll get a better outcome. And that's something I learned a long time ago in the marriage. If you focus on you and what you're doing, you'll get a better outcome than focusing on the other person and what they're not doing. So that be my advice for them. But I don't think that advice is falling on ears that are open and willing. Mark, get out, please. Save yourself, brother. Find a new job, new employment, and a new wife. Then we have Mike and Jasmina. We like that you move from disdain to tolerance, but that's not enough to make a marriage work. It might make a friendship work, but not a marriage. We need to see the chemistry. We don't see it. Jasmina is another one that needs to look in the mirror and look for herself, what she's doing, focus on her, look away from Mike and what he's not doing. That's the best recipe for the two of them, but I don't think they're going to make it. Then we have Olu and Katina. Brother, please. There's one thing we've learned. The way we talk to women is the first rule. So if you want to give out advice on who should do what, learn how to speak. Learn how to manage your tongue, and it can be a weapon, a very dangerous one. And you continue to cut your wife down, you're going to be left with nothing. So those would be my words. Grow up, learn how to talk, learn how to manage your emotions the same way you manage your workouts. You manage your emotions, you take your time, you pace yourself, and that's the best way to communicate. But, and for Katina, please, boundaries. It's not your fault the way he's treating you, but please set clear boundaries for what you won't accept with him, what is not acceptable, the way you want to be communicated, the way you want to be treated, and that will definitely be the best. Sometimes it may mean distance. Sometimes it may mean separation. So I'm hoping for better. I'm hoping they show up better. I don't know. But, again, I think this is a very interesting season. Let's see. I don't have much hope for many of these couples. But, at the very least, maybe we can look at ourselves and see ways to make ourselves better so we don't fall into these traps. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you very much, Sean, as always. Benediction, sweet as always. Audience members, it's been amazing. It's been great. It's been fantastic. We'll be back here on Friday night, baby, for, Friday night, Saturday night, for Ready to Love, because it's back. So we're going to have to discuss the show. Put a Ring in It also starts this week as well. So I guess I'm going to have to find a way to bring a panel for that. I don't know what day we're going to do it. It might have to be a Sunday, or maybe, what did we do last year? Did we do it earlier in the day, or did we do it Sunday? I think we did it Sunday first until Ready to Love had finished, isn't it? Okay, so we might have to do that again. But yeah, so we'll have Ready to Love, Put a Ring on It. And we might have one more show. I'm almost caught up with Sisters, so maybe we'll start doing a panel on that. Cause I'm really enjoying it, Fatima and Zach, man, I'm enjoying them, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, okay? All right. I need to get you a girl that's gonna ride for you, knock a man out, and lay him straight on a car, okay? And make people think he's dead so that you can, get one up. Listen, you need a girl like that, man. You know what I'm saying? That's when the song, I need a girl to ride. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but you know what I'm saying.
There's a new show too, Coach. Sorry to interrupt.
Which one?
It's called "Marry Me Now" by Rebecca.
Bro, I saw the thing, bro.
Rebecca Lynn Pope is gonna kill it.
It's only going one way, bro. It's only going down the hill. Where else can we go with that kind of stuff?
Madness.
We might have to review that. I did see the trailer for that, so we might have to review that. You know what I'm saying? At this rate, own better pay us. Okay, so we'll find a way to squeeze us all in. Don't you worry. But yeah, guys, it's been amazing. It's been great. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be back here, like I said, on your screens on Saturday, potentially Sunday as well now. And to have a good old chin wag, as they say in the UK, okay? Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys know in America, in UK, the government have actually tried to start paying people to house Ukrainian people. They don't care about black folk. I just want to share that little information you don't know. Yeah, they're paying people £350 to house in Ukraine people, but when Yemen's having their situation, they ain't paying us for nothing. This I'm just saying. I don't want to spread any division around here, but shoot, that's what it is. Anyway, just a minute. Anyway, listen, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. We'll see you guys again very, very soon.